Chapter 50-59. At this moment, someone sighed. It seemed that the Dragon Prince would rule the world in the future. As soon as that was said, many people nodded. He was right. Of course, there were also people who rebutted him, saying that it was too early. The Dragon Prince was powerful, but was Kunping weak? He had been crowned king earlier than the Dragon Prince. Countless people nodded. It seemed that the two princes would have a competition in the future. Lin Xian naturally came too. He sat down in the crowd. At this moment, he was also surprised. No wonder the dragons had been arrogant recently. He wondered what realm the Dragon Prince had reached. Had he broken through to become a great sage? He was now a Saint King, so were Yi Wudao and the others. Even Kunping and the Dragon Prince were only at the peak of the Saint King realm. They had not become a great sage. Once he became a great sage, his strength would undergo an earth-shaking change. Whoever broke through first would be able to others in advance. However, the Dragon Prince and Kunping's bloodline was too strong. The stronger the bloodline, the harder it was to break through. So, they had not broken through yet. As for Yi Wudao and Long Ao, they also had the ancient desolate body. Lin Xian had the 9 yang divine body and the dragon sword soul. It was not easy for him to break through. However, although they were all Saint Kings, their strength was stronger than the average great sage. They were geniuses who could fight above their level effortlessly. At this moment, a swordsman in the sky said. Everyone was talking about the Dragon Prince, but where was he? Why didn't he come out? Could it be that he looked down on people like us? That's right, the people of the Dragon Clan are a little too rude. They wanted to cheer for the Dragon Prince, but the Dragon Prince himself did not come out. A few cold snorts were heard, shocking the surrounding people. They looked carefully and found that the people who spoke were from the Heavenly Sect. Obviously, the Heavenly Sect wanted to suppress the Dragon Palace. Long Ao and the others frowned. Even the elders of the Dragon Palace stopped smiling. However, at this moment, he looked up at the sky and sneered. Everyone, the Dragon Prince you want to see is here. As soon as he said that, the surrounding people looked up at the sky. The sky was extremely calm. But in the next moment, a storm was brewing. Countless dragon shadows flew over from afar, spanning tens of thousands of miles. On top of those dragon shadows, there was a figure standing tall and straight, incomparably terrifying. He was like a dragon god, descending upon the 9 heavens. At this moment, everyone could feel the suppression of their bloodlines, causing their blood to freeze. His soul was about to split open. It was the Dragon Prince. He really came. Oh my God, the bloodline of the monarch, the aura of the supreme Tao. The Dragon Prince's cultivation of the monarch's ancient scripture has improved again. He was probably not far from breaking through and becoming the great sage. Cries of surprise were heard one after another. People like the tyrant and the Heaven Sect swordsman clenched their fists. Leaf Dao Denier took a deep breath. Obviously, he was feeling a lot of pressure. Long Ao's expression was also solemn. He originally thought that his years of cultivation would be able to reduce the gap between them. But now, it seemed that the gap between them had widened again. Was the Dragon Prince someone he had to look up to all his life? His heart was filled with despair. At this time, a swordsman from the Sky Sect walked out and said, as expected of the legendary monarch, the Dragon Prince, I want to experience the monarch's ultimate technique. As he spoke, he swung his sword. With a clang, the long sword cut through the void like lightning. This sword was like a peerless divine sword that slashed into the 9 heavens. The surrounding people were shocked. Was he going to attack the Dragon Prince? It was too unbelievable. The people from the Thousand Dragons dynasty sneered. Facing this peerless sword, the dragon prince lowered his head and looked. His eyes burst out with a bright light, and his gaze turned into a sharp blade light that swept over. With a clang, the sword was split in half. Not only that, the sword saint who attacked also vomited blood and was sent flying. The armor on his body was shattered, and blood burst out, dyeing the 9 heavens red. Everyone looked at this scene with their mouths agape. He was too strong. The swordsman who attacked was a top powerhouse among the younger generation of the Sky Sect. His strength was unparalleled, and there were not many people present who could contend against him. But now, they couldn't even block a single gaze from the dragon prince. Was this the difference between them and the monarch? Thinking of this, they all felt despair. It was really sad to be in the same era as such a person. The dragon prince looked down and asked calmly, "Are you qualified to fight me?" Damn it. The injured swordsman's face turned pale. Was he being ignored? This was a feeling that he had never felt before. But that gaze just now was too terrifying, and it easily pierced through his body. Even if he attacked with his full strength, he wouldn't be a match for him. The other 4 walked over and asked, "Are you okay?" The 5 of them formed a sword formation together, but they probably couldn't fight against him. He was too strong and invincible. That was what everyone was thinking. The people from the Dragon Palace walked out and said, "Don't even think about fighting against our prince. The Dragon Prince is famous. His opponents are only the other monarchs. For example, Kuanping, the others were no match for him. Not to mention the Dragon Prince, you can't even defeat our Dragon Prince. Our Dragon Prince has the ancient desolate body, and his strength is unparalleled. He can defeat all of you when he attacks." The Dragon Prince they were talking about was naturally Long Ao. Indeed, not to mention the Dragon Prince, even Long Ao, there were not many people who could contend against him. That was the ancient desolate body, a body that was as famous as Yi Wudao and the others. It seemed that the rise of the Dragon Palace was unstoppable, and the dragons would rule the world in the future. Voices rang out. It seemed that they had to make friends with the dragons in advance to plan for the future. The people from the Dragon Palace laughed proudly. This feeling was really good. The Dragon Prince was Long Ao, and he seemed to have been trampled under the feet of others. "What are you proud of?" A cold laugh rang out, and it spread clearly in all directions. The surrounding people were stunned, and they all gasped. "Who is it? How dare he say such words?" The people from the Dragon Palace roared, "Who is it? Get out here. How dare you challenge our Dragon Palace? Do you want to die?" The voice rang out again, "What, am I wrong? Has he never been defeated before? I remember that he was defeated by others in the Dao Sect's sacred assembly. At that time, countless pairs of eyes saw it. Are you trying to hide the truth? Ridiculous. Nonsense, come out." The people from the Dragon Palace began to search frantically. At this moment, the dark red dragon snorted coldly, "You are the ones who are ridiculous." He was indeed defeated by Lin Xian. That's right, I remember that his clone was killed by Lin Xian as soon as he appeared. Later, his real body appeared, but he was slapped to the ground by Lin Xian. Chapter 50-60. Damned ant, what did you say? The people from Dragon Palace roared. Long Ao's face darkened. He had indeed been defeated by Lin Xian. However, no one dared to mention this matter. Now, someone had actually brought it up again, especially when so many geniuses were gathered together. This was a slap to his face. He stood up and said coldly, "Two ants, come over. I'll slap you to death." Ha! Toad sneered. How impressive. Why don't you slap Lin Xian instead? You'll probably be slapped to death by Lin Xian. Bai Susu snorted. You were defeated by Lin Xian. Shouldn't you challenge him? What's the point of challenging us? The others were also discussing animatedly. Yes, when discussing the geniuses of the world, besides the Dragon Prince, Kunping Zi, Yi Wudao, and Long Ao, they seemed to have forgotten about one person. It was Lin Xian. The other party was known as Invincible Lin. His strength and means were beyond their imagination. Long Ao had been defeated by him in the past. He should be a super expert below the Emperor's level. Lin Xian. Hearing this name, Long Ao gritted his teeth. The people from Dragon Palace were also filled with killing intent. It was this person who had suppressed their Dragon Palace in the past. Lon Xiu stood up and said coldly. What Lin Xian? He had already passed away. There had been no news of him for more than 10 years. He had already fallen outside. The elder of the Blue Tribe nodded in agreement. That's right. A dead genius was nothing. Even if he was once dazzling, he had no future. The people from Dragon Palace sneered. Where is this Lin Xian you're talking about? Does he dare to come out? If he does, I'll slap him to death. That's right. Long Ao snorted. Lin Xian, that coward, hasn't dared to come out for more than 10 years. He must know that I've become stronger, so he doesn't dare to come out. It was an accident that I lost to him in the past. I wasn't in the right state at that time. Otherwise, how could I have lost? Now that I'm at my peak, if he dares to come out, I'll destroy him in 3 moves. Long Ao displayed his strong confidence. The members of the Divine Union gritted their teeth. Even the dark red Divine Dragon sighed. After so many years, they really didn't have any news about Lin Xian. They were even worried that something might have happened to Lin Xian. However, before he left, the dark red Divine Dragon had specifically asked for a soul aura from Lin Xian and made it into a soul card. At this moment, there was nothing wrong with the soul plate, which let them know that Lin Xian's life was not in danger. It was just that he was delayed by something outside. But the others didn't think so. They guessed that Lin Xian might have fallen. What a pity. Brother Lin and I are about the same level of cultivation base, so if you want to fight, I'm more than happy to oblige. You're right. If you can beat me, that means you can beat him. Do you dare? As soon as these words were spoken, the surrounding people were shocked. Was Leaf Dao Denier going to stand up for Lin Xian? It was too unbelievable. Long Ao's face also darkened. Do you want to die? I'll fulfill your wish. He had to fight today to show his powerful strength. Otherwise, these people would really think that he was a pushover. Long Hao took a step forward. The aura of the dragon roared and the whole world shook. The people of the Dragon Palace were very confident. Long Ao had failed before, but so what? He was now a different person from more than a decade ago. Now, he had no opponents under the Crown Prince. Even if the opponent was Leaf Dao Denier, they were still not afraid. Today was a grand event that the Dragon Palace had specially arranged to build momentum for the Dragon Prince. Now that someone had challenged them, they had to be ruthlessly suppressed. They had to let them know who was in charge in this place. Everyone was excited. Could they see a fierce battle in advance? That was great. Leaf Dao Denier also stood up and was ready to fight. However, at this moment, a voice sounded. Did he need the sacred body of the ancients to deal with such trash? I can do it. As he said that, a figure walked over. The surrounding people went crazy. God, who was this? How dare he say that Long Ao was trash? Long Ao was a top genius. If he was trash, then what were the others? Weren't they worse than trash? What an arrogant tone. Countless people turned their heads to look, wanting to see who was so arrogant. Even Leaf Dao Denier was stunned. He also turned his head to look. The dark red dragon, the toad, and the others also turned their heads. In the next moment, they saw a man in a black robe, surrounded by demonic chi, walking over. Was it him? The dark red dragon and the others frowned. They thought that Lin Xian had returned. The others were also confused. Who was this person? Was he a top genius of the ancient city? Was he an expert of the three major orthodoxies? It didn't seem like it. Who are you, kid? How dare you challenge me? Tell me your identity and origin. I'll see if you have the right to be arrogant here. Why waste time talking to him? Just kill him. A powerhouse of the Dragon Palace made his move. With a dagger in his hand, he instantly appeared behind Lin Xian. With a swing of the dagger, the void was split in half. The surrounding people exclaimed. What a fast speed, what a killing method. They saw the black-robed man's figure being split in half. The Dragon Palace expert sneered. What expert? You can't even block one of my attacks. As soon as he finished speaking, he was stunned. He found that the split figure was slowly disappearing. Lin Xian appeared on the other side. You can't even keep up with my speed, and you dare to assassinate me. Is the Dragon Palace full of trash? What? Was that just an afterimage? Countless people were in an uproar. When did this guy dodge? They were really shocked. Some people's pupils shrank, while others exclaimed. This was an expert. The Dragon Palace expert's face was cold. Damn it, die. He was about to swing his dagger again, but Lin Xian sneered. I was just telling the truth. Does the Dragon Palace want to kill me? Then, if I were to defeat Long Ao, wouldn't all of your elders cover the sky and cover the earth to hunt me down? It seems that this battle is not necessary. Stop! Long Ao roared. The Dragon Palace expert stopped. He gritted his teeth and returned unwillingly. Long Ao said coldly. My Dragon Palace is upright. Since when would we do such a despicable thing? Just attack. The dragon's elders will definitely not attack. I don't believe in a despicable person like you. Lin Xian looked at the Thousand Dragon Dynasty's elder. That elder's face was cold. Why would we care about the sparring between the younger generation? There are so many geniuses here. Are you going to question my Dragon Palace? Lin Xian smiled. Since the dragon's elder has spoken, I will naturally believe him. He looked forward and said. Long Ao, you are too pitiful. Kneel down and kowtow to me now, and I will spare you this time. Chapter 5061. These words made everyone stunned. Could it be that this guy thought that Long Ao would lose? Although his speed was fast, a battle was not just about speed. And no matter how fast he was, could he be faster than Long Ao? He did not know the immensity of heaven and earth. Cold laughter rang out. The surrounding people kept shaking their heads. Long Ao laughed. Ao also laughed. You don't have the right to ask me to admit defeat. Kid, do you think you can compete with me if you're fast? Too naive. Are you naive? You'll know soon enough. Lin Xian stretched out a finger and shook it. Come on, don't waste my time. Stupid thing. Long Ao instantly appeared behind Lin Xian. My speed is also very fast. I'm practicing dragon steps. Can you block it? Long Ao slapped down, smashing the black robe into pieces. It's over. The corner of his mouth raised into a smile. The surrounding people also exclaimed. As expected of the strongest person under the Emperor. He actually ended the battle with a slap. You're really ignorant. I've said it before. Is the Dragon Palace all trash like this? Everyone is so arrogant. You can't keep up with my speed. Lin Xian's voice rang out from the side. The others were stunned. They turned their heads and shouted in fear. He didn't die. He dodged again. Damn it, what kind of movement technique is that? Why didn't I notice it at all? How is this possible? The people of the Dragon Palace also looked as if they had seen a ghost. Even Long Ao also frowned, and his expression became stiff. Previously, he said that he would kill the other party in one move. Now, the other party was still alive and he did not notice it at all. This was already a ruthless slap to his face. How embarrassing. Long Ao was so angry that his entire body trembled. Lin Xian walked over and said indifferently. Follow my speed. You can cultivate for another 100 years. Before his voice fell, Lin Xian had already arrived at Long Ao's side and slammed his palm over. How is that possible? Long Ao said fiercely. The other party's speed was too fast. It was so fast that he could not even react. Boom! Long Ao Yang Tian roared in anger. His fists danced, shattering the void, forming an endless black hole, blocking the attack. The next moment, he roared at the sky like a dragon god, Kid, you've completely angered me. The others also cried out in surprise, displaying their true strength. Dragon Dao Divine Fist. The black-robed man was unlucky. Yes, so what if he was fast? In the face of absolute power, everything was futile. Go to hell. Long Ao punched out, destroying heaven and earth. At this moment, the space around Lin Xian was completely shattered. The invisible force was like a cage, preventing all escape. Not good, the dark red divine dragon and the others were worried. They were now very sure that the black-robed man was Lin Xian. However, in these 10 years, Long Ao was indeed not the same as before. Could Lin Xian stop him? Boom! An even more terrifying power surged out, transforming into a black sun that advanced courageously. It directly collided with the dragon fist. The sound of heaven and earth shattering rang out. Long Ao was shaken to the point that he kept retreating. His arm was numb. What's going on? Was he pushed back? The others looked at this scene with their mouths agape. They couldn't believe it. The people from Dragon Palace also exclaimed. This was impossible. They felt like they were dreaming. The cracks in the sky disappeared. They saw the black-robed man in front of them slowly retracting his palm. Just now, it was the other party who pushed back Long Ao with one palm. Damn it, this guy is not only fast, but his strength is also so terrifying. How is this possible? What pill did you eat? How can your strength be so strong? Long Ao roared crazily. Lin Xian laughed loudly. Ignorant ant, you don't know what power is. Forget it, you're too weak. You're not qualified to be my opponent. Is there anyone stronger in Dragon Palace? Lin Xian looked around. At this moment, everyone was shocked. They knew that the person in front of them was an expert. Previously, they were disdainful of the other party's arrogance. But now, they knew that the other party had the capital to be arrogant. The dark red divine dragon and the others were excited. Great, Lin Xian had returned. And his strength had become even stronger. Let's see if Dragon Palace still dares to be arrogant this time. Damn it, I haven't lost yet. I was careless just now. Long Ao roared crazily. It's just 2 moves. I'm only at a disadvantage. What right do you have to call me trash? I'll treat you seriously next. 3 moves, within 3 moves, I'll destroy your soul. Are you sure you want to destroy me in 3 moves? If you want to fight to the death, I'll accompany you to the end. Lin Xian's eyes burst with an extremely cold light. The current him was no longer the him of the past. Although it was just a clone now, it was an emperor's ability. Even the clone had 70% of his strength. With this clone, he could use all of Lin Xian's abilities. Other than a few powerful trump cards, there was nothing else. Everything else could be used. Therefore, Long Ao was not his opponent at all. In front, the elder of the Thousand Dragon Dynasty frowned. She felt that something was wrong. The black-robed man in front of her was very strange. The several ultimate skills that he displayed, whether it was his movement technique or strength, were all ridiculously strong. It was very likely that he was a top expert, so she was worried for Long Ao. He said, "Stop, we're just sparring." "Stop." Lin Xian nodded, "That's right. You should be afraid that he will fall." He then looked at Long Ao and said, "Scram back, your elders are afraid that you will fall, so they don't dare to let you fight." "What did you say?" Long Ao roared crazily. He was so angry that the other party was looking down on him again. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "To be honest, although you are a genius, that is only to ordinary people. In my eyes, you are really not a genius. What Dragon Prince, the second genius of the Dragon Palace, everything is just an illusion. You will always be trampled under the feet of the Dragon Prince, and you will never be my opponent. You are too far away from being a true young sovereign. Damn it, do you want to die?" Long Ao was really angry. He punched over again. However, he couldn't find any trace of Lin Xian. Lin Xian appeared and disappeared like a ghost. He used Shadowless Heaven's net to perfection, as if he was a god. "Who do you think you are? Dragons? Gao Gao. Do you think your bloodline is strong? You are too naive. You are nothing among the dragons. I will let you know that your bloodline is not the strongest after the Emperor's son. Ruffian Long, come and show him what the true bloodline of dragons is." The dark red dragon walked out and roared. After more than 10 years, this dragon can finally fight. "Come, dragon, let's fight. I will personally trample you under my feet." The dark red dragon's eyes burst out with a bright light. Previously, in the Divine Union, Lin Xian was dazzling and he didn't have many opportunities to fight. This caused many people to overlook him. However, Lin Xian knew that the dark red dragon's bloodline was extremely terrifying. This dragon prince was not weak at all. In fact, he was even stronger. Chapter 5062. You. A little snake. Long Ao looked at the dark red divine dragon and sneered. "Alright, this little psychological warfare has no effect on me. We will know who the snake is after the battle." The dark red divine dragon's body flashed, turned into lightning, and struck forward. "And I will let you know my power." Long Ao roared and punched out. Dragon Path Divine Fist. It was as if a giant dragon was sweeping between heaven and earth, intertwining with the laws. The void was like a painting being torn apart. The dark red divine dragon didn't even try to dodge. "Take my punch as well." He waved his dragon claws and punched out. The dragon blood martial move was extremely powerful. Clang! An earth-shattering sound rang out, and everyone's blood boiled. In the next moment, they saw 2 fists and retreated. They were evenly matched. Countless people exclaimed. It was too unbelievable. That was Long Ao, known as the Dragon Prince, the son of the Dragon Sea Lord. How powerful was his bloodline power, and he was a desolate ancient body. It could be said that other than the Dragon Prince, who among the younger generation of dragons could suppress him? Even those who could contend against him were useless. But now, there was someone who could withstand it. Wasn't this guy the dragon by Lin Xian's side? I always thought that he didn't have much ability, but I didn't expect him to be so powerful. Damn it, we were all deceived. He didn't make a move before, but who would have thought that his bloodline power was so terrifying? That Lin Wudi was really terrifying. Were there such experts around him? Now, do you still have the qualifications to call me a snake? The dark red divine dragon sneered. A terrifying multicolored light bloomed from his body. With a sweep of his tail, he swept out. It turned into a heavenly blade and slashed out. The power of this sacred weapon was even stronger, and the 9 heavens were split open. Damn it! Long Ao was furious. Did he underestimate his opponent again? He absolutely couldn't bear it. This time, he would not lose again. The Dragon Path Divine Fist was used to the extreme, and it kept colliding with the dark red divine dragon's tail. Every strike made heaven and earth tremble. The surrounding people were shocked and quickly retreated. How many people would be able to withstand such a battle? The two of them exchanged 50 moves. The surrounding void kept on shattering as the terrifying dragon chi shrouded everything. Countless rumbling sounds rang out as tens of thousands of dragon silhouettes circled the area. Your Dragon Dao Divine Fist is completely useless. Take my heaven-splitting 10 strikes. The dark red divine dragon roared and swung its dragon claws continuously. It attacked 10 times in a row, shattering the entire world. This was also one of the dragon's ultimate techniques. Long Ao was beaten back. Both of his arms were broken, and even his bones were exposed. Damn it! He raised his head and roared. He didn't expect that his Dragon Dao Divine Fist would be broken by his opponent. Dragon Traversal in 9 rotations. He roared angrily, turned into a giant dragon, and kept rolling. Every time he rolled, his strength increased by a bit. The laws of the body combined with the dragon's peerless abhijna to attack the front. This time, the heaven-splitting 10 strikes was utterly shattered. I will not be defeated. Die. I will let you know what the true ancient desolate body is. It charged over like a dragon god. It was too terrifying. This should be the divine ability of a great emperor. Countless people were shocked. The power of the Dragon Dao 9 revolutions was unparalleled. Toad and the others were worried. Ruffian Long should be fine, right? Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. He didn't expect Long Ao to have also cultivated a great emperor's divine ability. It was indeed powerful, but fortunately, it seemed that the other party hadn't cultivated it to perfection. Moreover, he knew that the dark red divine dragon's trump card was definitely not weak. Although it didn't have a great emperor's divine ability, it had a bloodline inheritance. As expected, the dark red divine dragon floated in the air as its body continued to grow in size in the face of such an astonishing attack. It turned into a divine dragon that was 1,000 feet long. The scales on its back bloomed with dragon blood, and it soared into the air, forming a dragon saber in the air. Slash! With a roar, the 9 heavens and 10 earths shattered. The dragon saber slashed down, turning into the only thing in the world. At this moment, the people from the dragons were terrified. This saber was too terrifying. It was as if it could cut them in half. Damn it, which dragons did he belong to? The elders of the 10,000 Dragons dynasty went crazy. Why didn't they know about such a powerful dragons before? Heaven and earth shattered. The front was shrouded in chaos, and they could only wait nervously. In the end, they saw a figure retreat. Long Ao was split in half, and he screamed as he fled. He retreated, his hair disheveled, and roared crazily. "Damn ant, you dare to hurt me!" Countless people gasped. Long Ao was actually injured, and he was even split in half. The people from the Dragon Palace also didn't dare to believe it. The dark red divine dragon walked out from the chaos, and a dragon saber floated above his head. He sneered. "Don't you understand who's the ant now? You've lost." Lin Xian also walked out with a smile. "It was a fierce battle, but unfortunately, you've lost again. Didn't you call yourself the #1 genius below the Imperial Prince? Weren't you invincible among the dragons? How many times have you lost now? More than 10 years ago, when you just came out, one of your clones was killed. Later, your true body was suppressed by someone, and you lost. More than 10 years later, you couldn't even block 2 of my moves. Now, you've lost to an expert who's also a dragon's. And he wasn't the Imperial Prince. You've lost too many times. What right does a person like you have to stand here? You're an ant, a piece of trash. You're destined to be trampled under others' feet for the rest of your life." Lin Xian said coldly. His voice carried a strange aura. This was also the great emperor's ability, demonic voice. At this moment, when he used it, it began to affect Long Ao in the dark. Long Ao was so angry that his entire body trembled. He kept retreating, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. He roared towards the sky as if he was crazy. With a crack, there was a shattering sound between heaven and earth, and Long Ao fell down. The elder of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty roared crazily. "Damn it, you dare to ruin his Tao heart." He slapped over. Lin Xian was already prepared. His figure flashed, and he instantly disappeared. Shadowless heaven's net. This elder couldn't hit him at all. How despicable. Didn't you say that you wouldn't attack me? Everyone in the world was watching. Damn it. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty gritted their teeth. That elder said. "You've ruined his Tao heart. Can't I attack you?" Lin Xian laughed. What a joke. Every single one of his attacks was a fatal killing move. If he was struck by one of them, his heart and soul would be destroyed. I only said 2 sentences. What does it have to do with me that his Tao heart was destroyed? That's because his Tao heart isn't firm enough. Otherwise, how could it be destroyed? What right does a person who doesn't even have a firm Tao heart have to walk the path of the great emperor? What right does he have to compete with the Imperial Prince? Lin Xian's words were sonorous, and the surrounding people were dumbfounded. They didn't expect that Long Ao would be defeated again. Moreover, it seemed that this time, he was completely trampled under his feet and couldn't make a comeback. Not only that, this was a ruthless slap to the Dragon Palace's face. This gathering had completely changed. Chapter 5063. Long Ao's Tao heart had been destroyed and he was no different from a cripple now. If he could not regain his confidence, his life would be over. For a top genius, this was worse than death. On the phone. Damn it, who are you? Who the hell are you? The elder of the 1,000 Dragon Empire roared. In the sky, the Dragon Prince also cast his gaze down. He was surprised that this person could defeat Long Ao. But did he want to challenge the Dragon Palace? He was the real founder of the Dragon Palace. At this moment, his eyes were filled with killing intent. This killing intent caused the surrounding geniuses to feel their scalps go numb. They knew that the Dragon Prince was angry. If the other party attacked, the black-robed man would not be able to withstand it. Who am I? Lin Xian smiled. Why? Does no one remember me anymore? He slowly took off his cloak, revealing his true face. Who is this person? Everyone looked over carefully. However, when they finished looking, they were stunned as though they were struck by lightning. Lan Xiu also opened her eyes wide in disbelief. In the next moment, she screamed in horror. Lin Xian, you are not dead. You are back. Some of the new geniuses were also shocked. Lin Xian, is he that Lin Wudi? Wasn't he a little too strong? Oh my god, it is really him. He is the legendary person who built the Divine Union single-handedly. Cries of surprise rang out one after another. At this moment, the entire world was in an uproar. It is him, it is really him. Bai Susu's eyes turned red. The dark red divine dragon and the toad laughed. Even Yi Wudao's lips curled into a smile. He had guessed that it was Long Ao and now it was confirmed. Yes, it is me. Lin Xian looked around and said loudly, I'm back. Damn it, it is this guy. The people of the Dragon Palace gritted their teeth while the Blue Tribe looked even worse. They thought that Long Ao had not appeared for more than 10 years and had fallen. This made them very happy. However, they did not expect that Long Ao had not fallen and had become even stronger. Pfft. Long Ao spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted. If he had lost to someone else, he could have forgiven him. However, he had lost to Lin Xian. How could he tolerate this? However, if Long Ao were to know that this was merely a clone of Lin Xian, the other party would probably have the heart to die. Lin Xian's appearance could be said to have set off an endless storm. In an instant, the atmosphere of the entire gathering changed. It was as if this gathering was no longer to build momentum for the Dragon Prince, but to prepare for Lin Xian's return. Everyone was looking at Lin Xian. All kinds of legends and discussions about him were spreading. The people of the Dragon Palace. Humph. At this moment, a cold snort. The 9 heavens were shaking, everyone's bodies trembling. When they snapped back to reality, cold sweat poured down. They had forgotten the emperor was emperor. This was an emperor's son. Once he was enraged, who could stop him? The Dragon Prince said coldly in the sky. Kid, I didn't expect you to grow to this extent. It really surprised me. But you dare to ruin my gathering. You've got guts. Kneel on the ground and apologize. I will give you a quick death. Otherwise, you will die without a doubt. The Dragon Prince's gaze seemed to have turned into a divine sword that pierced through the 9 heavens. Everyone was so scared that they kept retreating. Under this power, no one seemed to be able to resist it. The dark red divine dragon and the others were facing a great enemy. Even Yi Wudao clenched his fists. They did not care about Long Ao, but the Dragon Prince was different. He had the strongest bloodline in the world. That was the bloodline of a great emperor. Moreover, he cultivated an emperor scripture. Such a person was the strongest enemy. Kneel down and accept death. You. Lin Xian raised his head and snorted coldly. Get down here. I don't like to raise my head and talk to others. Everyone gasped. This guy dared to challenge the emperor's son. Where did his courage come from? How dare he? The experts of the Dragon Palace were furious. Who do you think you are? How dare you challenge our Dragon Prince? Noisy. Lin Xian snorted coldly. With a wave of his hand, several rays of demonic light flew out and instantly pierced through the roaring people. Screams rang out. Those people were nailed to death in the void. Everyone was horrified. These people were also experts of the Dragon Palace. They were top geniuses. But now, they could not even block one move from Lin Xian. Lin Xian retracted his hand and said coldly. I am talking to the Emperor's son. You are not qualified to challenge me. Everyone was shocked. Lin Xian had grown to the point where he could compete with the Emperor's son. Even Bai Su and the others could not believe it. In their opinion, the Emperor's son's opponent was only another Emperor's son. He was above everyone else. No matter how strong they were, they only had one title. That was the strongest person under the Emperor's son. For example, Long Ao used this title before. But no one dared to challenge the Emperor's son. No one dared to make a move on the Emperor's son. Lin Xian wanted to be the first challenger. You want to challenge me? I'm afraid you are not qualified. The Dragon Prince's voice was cold. In his eyes, everyone under the Emperor's son was an ant. Even if the other party defeated Long Ao, he was still not qualified. Lin Xian smiled. So what if he was the Emperor's son? No one who became a great emperor in the past was the Emperor's son. They were all experts who walked out from countless dust. No matter how strong you are only an emperor's son. As for me, I am an existence who will become a great emperor in the future. It is your honor that I challenge you. Lin Xian stepped into the air and walked towards the 9 heavens. This guy's belief was really too strong. The surrounding people were shocked. They kept retreating and became excited at the same time. They could finally see a top expert challenging the Emperor's son. They wondered how many moves this Lin Wuyi could take. In the past 10 years, he had disappeared. He must have gone out to train. They wondered if he had gained anything. If he broke through to become the great sage, he might be able to compete with the Emperor's son. But it was a pity that his cultivation seemed to be a little weaker than the Dragon Prince. The people from the Dragon Palace snorted coldly. He couldn't even block a finger of the Dragon Prince. Just wait, he will definitely die in one move. What qualifications do you have to stand side by side with me? Get down. Seeing Lin Xian walking forward, the Dragon Prince snorted coldly. He stomped his foot, and the endless void shattered into pieces. A terrifying force charged towards Lin Xian. Boom! Lin Xian punched out. The 6 paths fist shone brightly and pressed forward. Boom! The two collided, and an endless black hole appeared. Flames danced in the air. Lin Xian blocked the kick like a dragon emerging from the sea. Then, he stood in the 9 heavens, shoulder to shoulder with the Dragon Prince. Heavens, he actually blocked it. Countless people were in an uproar. Even the people from the Dragon Palace couldn't believe it. Chapter 50-64. Am I qualified now? Lin Xian looked at the Dragon Prince with a smile on his face. The Dragon Prince's face was terrifyingly dark. The other party was actually able to block his attack. It was unbelievable. One had to know how terrifying his bloodline was. Even a great sage stage cultivator would be crushed into pieces by this move. But the other party blocked it. I actually underestimated you. Your talent is indeed super strong. If there were no Thearchs, not many people would be able to compete with you. But unfortunately, I have appeared, so you will definitely be trampled under my feet. The Dragon Prince's eyes shone with confidence again. So what if the other party blocked it? That was just a casual attack. Next, he would let the other party know what despair was. Dragon Path Divine Fist. The Dragon Prince punched out. Such a terrifying technique was in his hands. When Long Ao-Z used it previously, it was 10 times stronger. The terrifying light broke through the sky. So strong. Countless people looked up at the sky with fear. Lin Xian snorted coldly and used the 6-path fist again. The two collided again as if two worlds were colliding. After that attack, Lin Xian laughed. Is this the strength of the arch? It's just a so-so. Just a so-so. The Dragon Prince's pupils constricted when he heard this. The other party actually dared to underestimate him. The first transformation of the dragon path 9 transformations. Another attack was thrown out, and there was a giant dragon in the sky. The power of this attack was even more terrifying than the dragon path divine fist. Countless people exclaimed. It's the Thearch's divine ability. This power is much stronger than Long Ao's. This Lin Xian is dead meat. That's for sure. No matter how strong he is, how can he block this attack? Brother Lin, let me see how you block it. Below, Yi Wudao's eyes shone. Sword technique. Divine body. Or some other divine ability. In the face of this attack, Lin Xian also felt threatened. He took a deep breath and didn't dare to be careless. Then, he slapped out with his palm. His right hand was as black as ink, turning into a huge seal that slapped forward. The demonic god seal was also a Thearch's divine ability. Boom! The two of them clashed again. The void shattered and chaos filled the air. It was as if the heavens and earth were being split apart. Was Lin Wude dead? They looked ahead, but soon, they were terrified. Lin Xian did not die. Instead, he managed to block the previous palm strike. This was too inconceivable. He was actually able to block the divine ability of a great emperor. Where did this guy come from? What had he been through all these years? The people of the Dragon Palace went crazy. Even the Dragon Prince's face darkened again. How strong was he? Other than Kun Pingzi, no one could make him serious. As for the others, they were all killed in one move. But now, he had already executed the martial monarch realm divine ability to deal with an ant, yet he still could not do anything to the other party. Dragon traversing 9 transformations, second transformation. The 2 giant dragons rolled and charged forward. Its power increased exponentially. Lin Xian still used the devil god seal to contend against it, but the power of the seal was even more terrifying. Did he block the second attack as well? Everyone was shocked. If the first strike was due to luck, then the second strike was due to luck. It could no longer be explained by luck. This Lin Xian really had the strength to compete with the Arch Realm divine ability. The Dragon Prince attacked again. This time, it was 3 dragon figures. The devil god seal emitted an intense light, and an extremely terrifying talisman appeared as if it was going to suppress heaven and earth. After one attack, the 3 dragon figures were suppressed between heaven and earth. They roared at the sky, but they could not escape. Lin Xian laughed out loud. Dragon Prince, you're just a so-so. You still want to be crowned king. Ridiculous. He did it. Did he really do it? Bai Susu was shocked. The dark red divine dragon also couldn't believe it. Heavens, what exactly did this kid use? Yi Wudao's eyes emitted an extremely terrifying light as he stared at the black seal. I feel a fresh aura in front of it. Could it be the Arch Realm divine ability? He gasped. He did not expect Brother Lin to also cultivate the Arch Realm divine ability. No wonder he could compete with the Arch Realm divine ability. The Dragon Prince did not attack. His eyes emitted light as he said coldly, I didn't expect you to also know the Arch Realm divine ability. That was really out of my expectations. What? Lin Xian actually used the Arch Realm divine ability. Heavens, he actually knows the Arch Realm divine ability. Could it be that he's also in the Arch Realm divine ability? Impossible, he doesn't have that kind of bloodline power. Could it be that he found the Arch Realm divine ability in some ruins outside? He's too lucky. Exclamations sounded one after another. At this moment, everyone's eyes were red. They could only be envious that the Dragon Prince had the Arch-Realm Divine ability because he was in the Arch-Realm Divine ability. However, Lin Xian was the same as them. He was not in the Arch-Realm Divine ability, nor was he in the Arch-Realm Divine ability. But now, Lin Xian also had the Arch-Realm Divine ability. They were about to go crazy. Even some of the older generation powerhouses' eyes were burning with passion. If there was a chance, they would attack regardless of everything. Have I been discovered? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. But soon, he snorted coldly. So what? This time, he did not plan to hide anymore. If he was discovered, so be it. Kid, do you think you can compete with me just because you know the Arch-Realm Divine ability? You're too naive. The inheritance of an ancient Arch is not as simple as you think. Next, I'll show you the real deal. Beside him, there were a few more figures of dragons rolling about. It was obvious that the Dragon Prince was going to use an even more terrifying ultimate technique. Lin Xian's eyes emitted light. Suddenly, he was stunned and sighed. It seems that my time is up. Time is up. What does that mean? Everyone was puzzled. Soon, they realized that the black seal in the sky was slowly disappearing. The three giant dragons soared into the sky and roared. Not only that, Lin Xian's figure also became dim as if he would disappear at any time. What's going on? Is Lin Wuti injured? Is he going to die? Exclamations sounded one after another. The dark red divine dragon and the others were also nervous. Yi Wudao's eyes emitted a sharp light. In the next moment, he seemed to have discovered something and exclaimed. No, he's not dead. It's a clone. His clone has exhausted all its power and is about to disappear. What? This is a clone. Everyone was stunned. An existence that suppressed Long Ao in 2 moves and could now use the Arch-Realm Divine ability to fight against the Dragon Prince. You're telling me that this is just a clone? They could not accept it. Then where is Lin Xian's real body? How powerful is Lin Xian's real body? Could it be that he's already on par with the Arch-Realm Divine ability? Everyone felt like they were dreaming. Can someone really be so heaven-defying? Damn it. The Dragon Prince was also angry. He felt like he had been slapped in the face. The one who fought against me is just a clone. Is he looking down on me? He threw out a palm and enveloped the clone. Chapter 50-65. It doesn't matter if you're a clone or your real body, you'll still be destroyed by me. Lin Wuti, one day, I'll let you know what despair is. The Dragon Prince retracted his palm and looked around. He said coldly, in a month, I'll be crowned as the Crown King in the True Path sect. By then, I'll be the ruler of the world. After saying that, he waved his sleeve and turned to leave. The gathering had been completely ruined by Lin Xian. He was too ashamed to stay any longer. The people of the Dragon Palace also sent the guests off. The surrounding people all left. They were shocked. They quickly spread the news, especially those from the 3 great orthodoxies and the clans of the ancients. Lin Xian's return caused a huge commotion. He was too powerful. What? You're saying that Lin Xian is back? Moreover, he could compete with the Dragon Prince. Stop joking. Who does he think he is? How could he compete with the Emperor's son? Some experts and saints shook their heads when they heard that. However, they realized that the news was spreading like wildfire. Many people had seen it with their own eyes. This included the 5 great swordsmen of the Heaven sect, Yi Wudao, and the Overlord of the Earth sect. These people would not lie. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Has Lin Xian become so powerful? He was too heaven-defying. He was really a young great emperor. It's more than that, you know. The one who competed with the Dragon Prince was only Lin Xian's clone. This news caused countless people to go crazy. A clone competed with the emperor's son. Oh heavens, oh earth, what kind of scene was this? Everyone felt that it was so unreal. A young supreme being. Lin Xian already had the strength of an emperor's son. He was above everything. It was said that he had also cultivated the great emperor's divine power. Who could suppress him in the future? Discussions could be heard one after another. At this moment, the people from the three great orthodoxies were shocked. The clans of the ancients and the great sects were terrified. Especially those who had a grudge against Lin Xian. They were facing a great enemy. Now, they could only place their hopes on the Dragon Prince. He hoped that the Dragon Prince would be able to kill him. When Tianzong heard the news, he was also shocked. Kuanpingzi's eyes flashed. Lin Xian. Another opponent had appeared out of nowhere. Previously, he didn't pay any attention to it at all. As far as he was concerned, his strongest opponent was only the Dragon Prince. In addition to that, there were a few other threats, such as Leaf Dao Denier, Ancient Wind, and the others. These people cultivated the inheritances of the great emperors. In the future, they might be able to fight against them. But as for Lin Xian, he didn't care at all. But now, the speed at which the other party grew had far exceeded his imagination. A young supreme being. Interesting, this is really a golden age. But I am not afraid of anything. Kuanpingzi stood up, and the yin and yang qi flowed around him. He was like a god, abnormally mysterious. The people of Dragon Palace gnashed their teeth. The 10,000 Dragon Court had also gathered countless experts and elders. Someone said. Who would have thought that he was such a scourge? I'll go and kill him. A terrifying great sage walked out, releasing a biting cold killing intent. However, one of the patriarchs shook his head. No matter how strong he was, he definitely wasn't the Dragon Prince's match. Keep him alive. When the Dragon Prince was crowned, they would use him as a sacrifice. Great. The eyes of the people from the 10,000 Dragon Court lit up. In a month, the Dragon Prince would be crowned king. At that time, the Dragon Prince would kill Lin Xian in front of the entire world. That would shock the world and let everyone know who was the ruler of the world. There was only a month left. They had to prepare well and invite the experts of the world. This time, their coronation had to surpass Kuanpingzi's. The people from the 10,000 Dragon Court moved quickly. On the other side, in the core region of the Taoist sect. When the elders found out, they were all stunned. They had actually misjudged him. They didn't expect the Taoist sect to have such a hidden dragon. But they were hesitant. If it was before, they would have been happy. Because this Lin Xian also had the right to be crowned king. However, it was different now. The Dragon Prince was about to be crowned. The Dragon Prince and Lin Xian were rivals. Could the Taoist sect support two people? They could only choose one. Some of the elders sighed. They seemed to have thought of something. Previously, before Lin Xian, there had also been someone who had displayed the talent of a young paragon. That was Long Guang, a powerhouse of the dragons. He had once fought with the Dragon Prince but had unexpectedly fallen. Although there was no evidence, these elders knew that it was very likely the 10,000 Dragon Court had done it. The 10,000 Dragon Court didn't allow anyone to threaten the Dragon Prince. Would Lin Xian be the second Long Guang? What would happen to him? These elders didn't know, but they weren't optimistic. On the other hand, the Divine Union was very excited. On this day, all the members of the Divine Union gathered in a hall. They were all extremely excited as they looked ahead. Boss Lin had returned and could even fight with the Dragon Prince. What kind of scene was this? Previously, they had been suppressed by the Dragon Palace and had been unable to raise their heads. Many people had even been seriously injured and some had even fallen. They had thought that the Divine Union was finished. They hadn't expected that things would turn around and Lin Xian would return. The Divine Union was finally going to rise again. Ahead, the dark red dragon and the others were also waiting. Before long, a demon-like figure appeared in the distance. Was it another clone? The dark red dragon asked. That figure was Lin Xian's clone. He nodded. I'm trying my best to break through the sacred Gulf Tower and reach the peak within a month. Therefore, my main body can't come out. The dark red dragon and the others gasped when they heard this. Reaching the peak within a month. Wouldn't that mean he would be crowned as a monarch? Was the Divine Union also going to have a monarch with one crown? That was great. This way, they wouldn't have to fear the Dragon Palace anymore. So what if it was the Dragon Prince? They also had a monarch with one crown on their side. With his clone overseeing the Divine Union, Lin Xian also started to make arrangements. He said loudly, "Everyone, I know that you have been suppressed and attacked previously. We will get our revenge." Cheers rang out one after another. The Divine Union members were roaring. They all saw hope. Lin Xian waved his hand again and smiled. Come, let me introduce a new friend to everyone. With a wave of his hand, a vortex appeared. Senior Soul, come out. The people who walked out were the Soul Sage, Soul Cliff, and the other soul-killing sages. After they came out, they stood in the void and a terrifying murderous aura spread in all directions. The surrounding Divine Union geniuses narrowed their eyes. They felt a biting cold murderous intent engulf them. It seemed like it could easily tear their bodies apart. Chapter 5066. What a terrifying murderous aura. Could they be assassins? Bai Susu frowned. Lin Xian smiled. That's right, they were assassins. They were extremely terrifying killing sages. They appeared and disappeared mysteriously, killing without leaving a trace. These are my life and death friends that I met when I was training outside. We will be a family in the future. Next, it was time for the party to cheer. Everyone was excited to meet again after more than 10 years. Hence, the party lasted for 6 days. Everyone was still unsatisfied. However, the dark red divine dragon and the rest knew that there was something more important waiting for them. On this day, everyone gathered again. Lin Xian asked about what had happened in the past 10 years. Soon, he frowned. Are you saying that Lan Ziyu was the one who led the suppression of the Divine Union all these years? Lin Xian's face was cold. This woman had attacked them more than once. Previously, she relied on the geniuses of the Blue Tribe. Later on, when the geniuses of the Blue Tribe were destroyed, she relied on Long Ao. She used the power of the Dragon Palace to suppress them. It seemed like there was no need for her to exist. She would be the first target. Lin Xian said coldly. Since Lan Ziyu was the main culprit, he would not let her go no matter what. Let's go and take revenge. Lin Xian waved his hand and walked forward. At this moment, more terrifying news came. The Dragon Prince had successfully reached the top. At this moment, a terrifying bell sound came from the Holy Gulf Tower, reverberating in all directions. Countless people in the Holy Gulf ancient city looked into the distance. Had someone reached the top again? The Dragon Prince had done it. He had been crowned as the king of the crown. Exclamations were heard one after another. The people of the Dragon Palace laughed. This was great. The families and sects under the Dragon Prince were also ecstatic. From now on, they would soar to the sky. Tianzong frowned. Kuanping Zi's eyes flickered. Had he finally reached the top? Now he was qualified to fight with them. When the time came, they would have to test his strength. A black and white aura appeared in his eyes. When Lin Xian and the rest heard the news, they were equally solemn. Reaching the top represented a pinnacle of strength. Bai Susu and the others turned to look at Lin Xian. Was he still going to make a move? After all, the Blue Clan was under the Dragon Emperor's command. Attack! Lin Xian remained unmoved. His main body had already swept through the Sacred Abyss Tower. With the strength of his main body, it was only a matter of time before he reached the peak. Therefore, he was not afraid of the Dragon Prince. They walked towards the Dragon Palace, but learned that Lan Ziyu had already left. The toad said. She didn't return to the Dragon Palace at all. Ever since Long Ao's Dao heart was shattered, she seemed to have left with her family. This woman is really scheming, the dark red dragon snorted. Now that Long Ao was crippled, Lan Ziyu didn't even dare to return to the Dragon Palace without any backing. It seems that she knows we should look for her again. Bai Susu also harumphed coldly. Unfortunately, she won't be able to escape. We've been keeping tabs on her for a long time now, and we know the 3 places she frequents. Let's go. Lin Xian waved his hand and led his men out. Moonlight Lake. This place was like a paradise on earth. It was a place that Lan Ziyu often visited. At this moment, there were still guards from the Dragon Palace guarding this place. Suddenly, their pupils constricted because they saw a group of people appear in front of them. Who is it? Stop, go back. This is not a place where you can come. The people from the Dragon Palace shouted coldly. However, what greeted them was a slap. A black palm blotted out the sky and covered the earth, smashing them into a bloody mist. Damn it, who is it? He's too strong. The guards were horrified. There was also a great sage, whose face was filled with despair. To be able to kill him in one move, he was definitely not an ordinary person. The terrifying demonic aura reminded him of someone who had just returned. You're Lin Xian. He was horrified. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. That's right, it's me. Where's Lan Ziyu? You're looking for Fairy Lan. She's not here. The great sage was horrified. Lin Wudi, don't go too far. Don't you know that our Dragon Prince has already reached the peak? So what? Lin Xian was unmoved. He tore the other party's soul into pieces with a slap. Then, he said, go in and find her. The people from the Divine Union moved out one after another. A huge battle ensued. Some of the guards inside were also roaring. They wanted to send out a distress signal. Lin Xian's hand covered the entire area. Not a single message could be sent out. The dark red divine dragon and the rest attacked. This time, the people from the Soul Sect also came. Hanya led them and appeared and disappeared mysteriously. In the end, everyone in the Bright Moon Lake died. The entire Bright Moon Lake was dyed red with blood. Is she here? Lin Xian asked. Those people searched once and shattered the ground, turning it into an abyss. They said, no, she's not here. Then, they went to another place. Then, the second and third places all received devastating attacks. However, there was still no sign of Lan Ziyu. Where did he go? Bai Susu said, he should have returned to the Blue Tribe. I know about their branch's manor domain. The Blue Tribe. Let's go. The group set off again. So what if they were from the clan of the ancients? They still dared to attack aggressively. Blue Feather Manor. The manor that was named after Lan Ziyu was a newly built territory. The people who lived there were from Lan Ziyu's lineage. At the moment, many experts were gathered in the Blue Feather Manor. An old man stood with his hands behind his back. He was Lan Ziyu's grandfather. Beside him was Lan Ziyu's father and the other experts of the Blue Tribe. Someone said, "This is great." Although Long Ao's Dao heart was shattered, the Dragon Prince finally succeeded in reaching the top. The Blue Tribe will also become stronger in the future and surpass the other clan of the ancients. That Lin Wudi is nothing to be afraid of. Lan Ziyu's grandfather said with a smile, "I've already received a piece of news. The Dragon Prince will personally kill Lin Wudi during the king conferral ceremony to intimidate everyone. Therefore, Lin Wudi will definitely die." Ha 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 ha. They all burst into laughter. At that moment, an earth-shattering voice rang out. A ray of sword light pierced through the 9 heavens like a thunderclap and split the entire area. Their great hall also began to shake violently. Who is it? How dare they come to the Blue Manor and behave atrociously? These experts walked out one after another. They saw the sky split open in front of them and a group of people walked over. The one at the front was a man in a black robe. "Lin Wudi, it's you. How dare you come here?" Lan Ziyu's father roared, "You're courting death. Attack!" At his command, countless arrays appeared around him, as well as countless blue race powerhouses. The arrays flickered. Terrifying thunder, terrifying flames, and torrential seawater rushed over in an overwhelming manner, trying to swallow Lin Xian. Lin Xian roared and waved his hand. Terrifying sword chi slashed in all directions, shattering the entire area. Chapter 50-67. The people from the Blue Clan were stunned. These arrays had been carefully set up by them and were terrifying. Even a group of great sage might not be able to break them. But now, they had been shattered by Lin Xian with a few simple swords. How terrifying was this guy's strength? Lan Ziyu's father's face turned ugly. They knew that the other party was strong, but they had not seen it with their own eyes. Therefore, they all felt that the rumors were exaggerated and that there were a lot of exaggerations. But now that they saw this scene, they changed their minds. They had probably underestimated the other party. "Father." The young man looked at the old man behind him. The old man's face was cold as he walked out. He was Lan Ziyu's grandfather. "Young man, you don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Kneel down now and break your own arms. I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, I'll let you know what it means to wish you were dead." A piercingly cold voice rang out. The surrounding void could not withstand this power and began to crack open. Lin Xian laughed. "Hand over Lan Ziyu and I'll let you die a quick death. Otherwise, I'll let you know what it means to be reincarnated. You're courting death. Stubborn." Elder Lan was completely enraged. He waved his palm. Everywhere it passed, the world was sealed in ice. It was as if a world of ice had descended. The void around Lin Xian turned into an ice cage. The strength of this attack shocked the people from the Divine Union. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He had not expected this elder to be an expert who had surpassed the great sage. However, Lin Xian was not afraid. The other party was not a great sage. Therefore, he sneered. "You want to trap me with your insignificant skills." Sword chi appeared in his hand and slashed in all directions. The piercingly cold sword light shattered all the ice in the surroundings. The monstrous sword's shadow seemed to shatter everything. An earth-shattering sound rang out. The surrounding ice shattered into pieces. Elder Land's pupils shrank. He kept retreating. One of his arms was cut open and blood was staining it. Elder! Countless people exclaimed. That person's pupils shrank as well. Father, are you okay? They were all scared silly. The young man in front of them was so powerful that even their elder was no match for him. Lin Xian sneered. You dare to go against me with your strength? Hand over Lan Ziyu. Young man, you don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. You dare to hurt me. I'll let you know what despair is. The old man threw away the walking stick in his hand. A blue talisman appeared between his eyebrows and spread throughout his body. Father! When he saw this scene, the young man exclaimed in surprise. Could it be that the young man was going to use that ultimate technique? He wanted to say something, but Elder Lands. After recuperating for so many years, some people must have already forgotten my name. It was a secret technique that could seal a part of one's cultivation to prolong one's life. Once it was used, it would restore one's peak combat strength. However, the loss of life would intensify. It seemed like the old man was serious. So what if he was serious? Toad snorted. Let's see his expression of despair later. In front of them, it was freezing cold. Elder Blue's aura was much stronger than before. He was like the god of ice. An ice sword appeared in his hand. With a wave of his hand, the world was frozen. Young man, how do you want to die? I'll fulfill your wish. The ice sword pointed forward and an ice dragon condensed. Wherever he passed, nothing could escape. Was he hiding his strength? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He didn't expect Lan Ziyu's grandfather to be an expert. It was a pity that the other party had met him. The demonic aura on his body condensed and formed a demonic sword. Lin Xian walked forward. You want to fight with me? Do you know what a sword technique is? As he spoke, a biting cold sword aura slashed forward. Terrifying demonic light filled the 9 heavens. The ice dragon shattered instantly. You have some strength. Watch my sword of blue spirit. The ice sword swayed. The terrifying sword light turned into an illusion and shrouded the front. Retreat quickly. The people of the Blue Clan retreated quickly. They were nervous and expectant. The Nyen snorted. His father had used all his strength. The other party definitely couldn't resist. There was still a huge gap between a top genius and a peerless powerhouse. The sword light that filled the sky cracked. The icy aura froze everything. A black figure was also sealed in ice. When Elder Blue saw this, his lips curled up. It was over. He walked forward. The people of the Blue Clan laughed. It was over so quickly. Could this guy still fight against the Dragon Prince? What a joke. Elder Blue's sword cleaved the black figure into 2 halves. However, his pupils constricted. There was no blood. Was it an afterimage? He abruptly turned his head, only to discover that a demonic sword was slashing toward his glabella. In a panic, he formed a seal and blocked the sword with a blue ice divine shield. He was sent flying and spat out a mouthful of blood. The blue shield was also split into 2 halves. Elder Blue's face turned ugly, and the man behind him was terrified. That was a divine artifact. Was it split in half? How terrifying was the power of this sword? If his father didn't have a trump card, the sword would have avoided his father's head. I've said it before. You're courting death if you want to fight with me. Lin Xian had used Shadowless Heaven's net and easily dodged the sword. The first strike of the Shura sword was blocked by the other party's divine artifact. However, he didn't care. He wanted to see how many strikes the other party could block. How dare you destroy my divine artifact? You've completely angered me. Elder Lon snorted. He waved his hand and took out another divine artifact. It was a weapon that looked like a teapot. It was exquisite and had countless talismans of law surrounding it. It was the blue smoke pot. At this moment, under his control, countless blue mist floated out from within. Like ribbons, it circled the area in front of him. On the surface, there was a gloomy and cold energy. The people of the Blue Clan laughed when they saw this. They knew that the blue smoke pot was a terrifying treasure. Once entangled by the blue mist, there was no way to escape. Let's see how the kid will die this time. The blue mist surrounded Lin Xian. It seemed to even entangle Lin Xian's sword light. Seeing this scene, Elder Blue laughed loudly. Little Zay, although you're strong, you're too young. You're no match for me in terms of foundation. I only need to take out a few divine artifacts to make you despair. Now that you're entangled by my blue smoke pot, let's see how you can escape. Chapter 50-68. Lin Xian frowned when he sensed the terrifying aura. He had to admit that the other party's saint artifact was indeed extraordinary. Elder Blue snorted when he saw Lin Xian resisting. Kid, it's useless. No matter how strong you are, you can't block it. To be honest, you're indeed a top-notch genius. You don't have the bloodline of an emperor, but you have the talent and strength of Emperor Kansas. No matter which era you were in, you could reach the peak and even become a great emperor. But it's a pity that you appeared in this era. There are many emperors in this era. Moreover, you're too arrogant. You actually dared to offend an elder like me. Therefore, I'll send you on your way. A dead genius is nothing. A smile appeared on Su Chen's face. A dead genius? You're too arrogant. Who do you think you are? Also, let me tell you. The one you're fighting now is just a clone of mine. What? Clone? Elder Blue's pupils constricted when he heard this. He didn't dare to believe it. Was his clone already so powerful? Damn it, this made him feel a strong sense of crisis. Even if he killed his opponent's clone, so what? Damn it. I don't believe you. Don't try to lie to me. Kid, do you think I can't see through your plan? You want to distract me so that you can escape. What a joke. Elder Blue was unmoved. He continued to activate the mist smoke pot. Tens of thousands of wisps of smoke filled the air, trying to pull Lin Xian inside. Go to hell. The blue smoke pot contained a strong power that could turn the opponent into a pool of blood. Ignorant. You're already old. Let me show you the power of the heart. Lin Xian released a terrifying demonic aura. It was as if he had transformed into a demon lord. However, he was still sucked in. Lin Xian's figure disappeared into the blue smoke pot. Elder Blue laughed. Clone. Genius. You'll be a pool of blood after you enter. Great. Elder Blue is mighty. When the blue race saw this, they all raised their heads to the sky and laughed. The dark red divine dragon frowned. That saint artifact was extremely extraordinary. They wondered how Lin Xian was doing. Although they were nervous, they were not worried. This was because it was indeed just a clone. However, if the doppelganger was destroyed, then their operation this time would have failed. Whing. Boom. At this moment, a deep sound rang out between heaven and earth, followed by a violent roar. Everyone looked over, and the faces of the Blue Clan members turned ugly. Elder Blue's expression became even more solemn. He realized that the sound was coming from the blue smoke pot in his hand. At this moment, the mist smoke pot was shaking violently, and the radiance on the surface of the fan had become dim. Clearly, the people inside were making a move. Damn it, how is this possible? Refine it for me. Elder Blue roared crazily and unleashed countless laws. However, the blue smoke pot was becoming dimmer and dimmer. It looked like it could shatter at any moment. Damn it! Elder Blue didn't dare to be careless anymore. He quickly opened the blue smoke pot. A figure flew out from inside. It was Lin Xian. At this moment, his body was surrounded by demonic qi, so he was unharmed. Do you think a mere saint artifact can do anything to me? Lin Xian stood in the 9 heavens with a mocking expression. Damn brat, Elder Blue had long lost his previous calmness. Lin Xian shook his head. Everything was over. Even if it's just a clone, it's not something you can resist. Lin Xian condensed a black seal in his hand. Damn brat, how dare you look down on me? Fine, I'll let you die under my ultimate technique. Elder Blue put away the blue smoke pot. His palms kept forming seals, and the laws of his bloodline erupted. Behind him, the phantom of a frost wolf formed. As soon as the frost wolf appeared, it roared towards the sky. It was as if an ancient divine beast had been resurrected. It let out a terrifying roar. The surrounding people's blood was boiling. Brat, can you block this move? If you can't, go to hell. Elder Blue waved his hand, and the frost wolf behind him rushed out. A pair of sharp claws fell from the sky. This was a law divine beast that he had condensed with his bloodline. Its strength was terrifying. It was even more terrifying than the blue smoke pot from before. Under this attack, the other party would definitely be torn to pieces. Looking at the phantom of the frost wolf and the terrifying storm in the sky, Lin Xian shook his head. Is this your strongest attack? It's really disappointing. He waved his hand, and the black demon god seal fell down. Useless brat, you can't resist at all. Elder Blue sneered. However, soon, his smile froze because he found that the phantom of his bloodline had stopped in midair. It was suppressed by a black seal. Damn it, what is that black seal? Elder Blue was dumbfounded. He couldn't believe it. Could it be a terrifying sacred artifact? Damn it, this brat really has a trump card. Just as he was thinking, the demon god seal fell. The bloodline god wolf let out a blood-curdling scream as it was torn into pieces. Elder Blue also vomited blood and kept retreating. His face was pale. Even his bloodline ability was broken. He was seriously injured. What made him even more frightened was that the black seal was directly above his head and would fall at any time. Damn it, how dare you! Let go of our elder. The people of the Blue clan in the distance roared crazily. Elder Blue also shouted angrily. Do you dare to kill me? The Blue clan is an ancient clan. I'm just an elder. The Blue clan has countless experts. If you kill me, you will be hunted down crazily. You have to think carefully. Are these your last words? Then go to hell. In the face of such a threat, Lin Xian was unmoved. The demon god seal fell and blasted Elder Blue into a bloody mist. With a wave of his hand, a storage ring flew out. There were several sacred artifacts such as the blue smoke furnace in it. Lin Xian put it away. Elder. The people of the Blue clan knelt on the ground. The man's face was also filled with despair and his body was trembling. In the distant sky, 2 figures streaked across. These 2 were extremely terrifying. The flames on their bodies were even more terrifying. There were dragons circling around them. They were the two elders of the Fire Dragon clan. One of them said, "The Dragon Prince has ascended to the peak of the Sacred Abyss Tower. It won't be long before he is crowned. We have to hurry over to congratulate him." The other person shook his head and sighed. "What a pity. Because of the Fire Dragon Lady, we stood on Lin Xian's side. I'm afraid we have already offended the Dragon Prince." This time, no matter what price they had to pay, they had to beg for the Dragon Prince's forgiveness. The two of them were worried about the future of the Fire Dragons. Suddenly, the two of them were stunned. There was a huge battle ahead, and it was the terrifying battle of the Great Sage. Who was it? The two of them hurried over to take a look. When they arrived, they realized that it was the Blue Clan's manor. Who dared to attack the Blue Clan? They knew that the Blue Clan was now the favorite of the Dragon Palace. They were an existence that everyone looked up to and envied. But now, someone dared to attack them. They looked down, and in the next moment, they saw an old man vomiting blood as he was sent flying. That was Lan Ziyu's grandfather. Lan Ziyu's status in the Dragon Palace was extraordinary. Chapter 5069. Who was it that did it? The two elders of the Fire Dragons were so scared that their scalps went numb. They looked carefully. In the next moment, they saw a demon-like figure appear from below. On the phone. A young man. Who is he? It's him, Lin Xian, Lin Wudi. He was the one who did it. Is this guy so powerful? It seemed that all the rumors about him were true. At this moment, the figures of the two elders flashed as they left the place swiftly. That was because they discovered that the figure below was looking up at the sky. They dodged and went up to the sky. One of them asked, "What should we do? Will he come after us?" Someone else said, "We just saw it by accident. Let's go back to the Fire Dragons. Aren't we going to see the Dragon Prince? We'll talk about it when we get back." This guy doesn't seem to be afraid of the Dragon Prince. The Fire Dragons wanted to rely on the Dragon Prince, but they hesitated when they saw Lin Xian take action. The two elders left and returned to their families. Below, Lin Xian looked up at the sky and narrowed his eyes. Just now, he had sensed two obscure yet powerful auras flashing past. The power of fire and the aura of dragons. Fire dragons. He retracted his gaze and ignored them. These two were probably just passing by. Lin Xian turned around and looked back. There were many Blue Clan warriors kneeling on the ground. Lan Ziyu's father, the middle-aged man, was also there. When the middle-aged man felt Lin Xian's gaze, he was so scared that he started shivering. He gritted his teeth and said, "We were wrong. We apologize to you, young Master Lin. Please let us go. I think young Master Lin doesn't want to be hunted down by the Blue Clan. Moreover, the Blue Clan is now under the Dragon Prince." He lowered his head and admitted his mistake. At the same time, he revealed his identity. As long as one was smart, they would not continue to attack them. Once Lin Xian left, they would mobilize their families and the power of the dragons to fight back. Lan Ziyu's father swore that he would catch Lin Xian and make him suffer. The Dragon Prince. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Others might be afraid of him, but not me. Hand over Lan Ziyu. Young Master Lin, I've said everything I wanted to say. Do you really want to have a falling out with the blue race? Who do you think you are to be my enemy? Lin Xian sneered and sent the man flying with a slap. Half of that person's face was shattered. He roared, "Damn it, I'll fight it out with you." He wanted to make a move, but he was instantly suppressed. Lin Xian crushed his opponent's body with a single step. He snorted coldly and said, "You don't have the qualifications to fight me. Since you won't tell me where Lan Ziyu is, I'll do it myself." The surrounding people also wanted to escape, but they were all beaten back by the dark red divine dragon and the others. He fell to the ground in despair. Lin Xian formed a seal with his palms as a terrifying light flickered in his eyes. A pair of heavenly god's eyes appeared in the sky and looked down. The light of reincarnation. You will feel despair for the next 10,000 years. Lin Xian used a powerful eye technique. The people of the blue race screamed miserably as their souls were tortured endlessly. Once again, Lin Xian began to search the soul of that person. Then, a cold smile appeared on his face. Not here, but at the headquarters of the blue race. But do you think you can escape? Lin Xian didn't continue searching. He had the demon summoning scripture, which contained countless abhijna laws. One of them was specifically for revenge. The demon summoning scripture was created by the demon emperor. Demons didn't care about anything. Naturally, their methods were strange. Yun Xian waved his hand and grabbed the soul of that person. The man screamed crazily. "Damn it, what are you doing?" Lin Xian snorted coldly. "Use your soul to find your daughter's whereabouts." He formed a few demonic runes with his palm and imprinted them in the air. The soul of that person wanted to escape, but it was instantly frozen and quickly burned. Lin Xian waved his hand again and formed a black talisman to merge with the soul. The next moment, his demonic body condensed into a demonic bow. He pulled the bow and flew into the sky with the soul talisman. The Nian was Lan Ziyu's father. With the bloodline inheritance, Yun Xian could instantly lock Lan Ziyu's position with his soul bloodline. As for the arrow just now, it carried an extremely strong killing aura. Lan Ziyu couldn't escape. The headquarters of the blue race was also jubilant. They were preparing to attend the coronation ceremony of the Dragon Prince. At that time, they would be in the limelight. Inside a palace. Lan Ziyu sat there with some young geniuses around her. They were all geniuses of the blue race. At this moment, they were all around Lan Ziyu, treating her as their leader. Lan Ziyu's current status wasn't ordinary, but she frowned. Although the Dragon Prince succeeded, Long Ao was crippled. Her status wouldn't be good in the future. Damn it, it's all that Lin Wudi's fault. Thinking of this, she gritted her teeth. She would find a chance to kill him. Suddenly, she raised her head. She felt uneasy, as if something was about to happen. She stood up. The surrounding geniuses of the blue race said, "Sister Ziyu, I'll help you with anything." "Yes, tell us if there's anything." The geniuses smiled. They were trying to please her. Lan Ziyu didn't say anything. She stared at the sky. The next moment, she saw a black dot descending quickly. The surrounding geniuses also felt it and looked up. What was that? A demon beast. But soon, the black dot arrived in front of them. At the same time, it carried a strong murderous aura. The geniuses were instantly sent flying. Their bodies were shattered. Oh no, it was an attack. Lan Ziyu's pupils contracted. Her scalp went numb. She immediately retreated. With her current strength, she was a top expert in the Dragon Palace. So, the geniuses around her were much stronger. But no matter how strong she was, could she be stronger than Lin Xian? This was a arch-theurgy. She couldn't dodge it at all. Just as she moved, the arrow pierced through her forehead, piercing her soul. A soul flame enveloped her. The next moment, her eyes widened. She fell to the ground. She couldn't accept it. She didn't even know who killed her. Oh no, Ziyu's soul jade tablet shattered. someone exclaimed. The people of the blue race were stunned. How could it be? Ziyu was in our headquarters. Who could come here to kill her? What a joke. However, some people frowned. Let's go and take a look. They walked toward Lan Ziyu's residence. When they opened the palace door, they were dumbfounded. The surrounding geniuses' bodies were shattered. They fell into the sea of blood. Lan Ziyu's forehead was pierced by a black arrow. The aura of her soul had already disappeared. The elders of the blue race instantly checked. The next moment, their faces turned pale. Chapter 50-70. The leader of the blue clan was also alarmed. After she rushed over, she saw this scene and her face turned pale. He roared like a mad lion. Damn it, what's going on? Who did it? The surrounding people lowered their heads in fear and didn't dare to speak. They were also terrified. They were the Far Ancient Clan, a clan of the ancients. They were powerful, but none of them noticed that an enemy had sneaked in. This was too terrifying. Was the enemy a top saint killer? They thought of several organizations. Hell. The mortal world. Or the heavenly court. A powerful elder furrowed his brows. No, it shouldn't be the saint killer. Look, that arrow obviously fell from the sky. Someone killed Ziyu thousands of miles away. Hearing this, the others were even more terrified. Who had such a heaven-defying method? One had to know that Lan Ziyu himself was a top-notch genius. His strength was even more terrifying than some great sages. The leader of the blue clan shouted angrily, "Investigate this thoroughly. Find out who did it." He was about to go crazy with anger. Lan Ziyu was very important. Now that he was dead, how could she explain it to the dragons? More importantly, the arrow in front of him carried a monstrous demonic chi, which reminded him of a person. Previously, the legend of Lin Xian's return mentioned that Lin Xian's demonic chi was monstrous, like a demon god. Now the arrow also had the same aura. Could it be that Lin Wuti did it? Damn it, he dared to do such a thing on the eve of the Dragon Prince's coronation. He was too arrogant. The people of the Blue Clan went out to investigate. News of what had happened here had spread. Lan Ziyu's identity wasn't ordinary. He was Long Ao's cultivation partner. He had a very high status in the Dragon Palace. He was also a genius in the Dao, a top genius of a clan of the ancients. Such an identity attracted the attention of countless people. So Lan Ziyu's disappearance was investigated by countless people. Soon, they found that Lan Ziyu was dead, and died in a very strange way. There were only arrows. If it wasn't the enemy, who could it be? The news spread so widely that the entire ancient city knew. Have you heard? Lan Ziyu is dead. I know. It said that he was killed by a sword from thousands of miles away. Who is this? His methods were too heaven-defying. This was not only a slap to the blue race's face, but also a challenge to the Dragon Palace. Who else could it be? It was said that the arrow had a monstrous demonic aura. It was probably done by Lin Wuti. Voices rang out one after another. Everyone felt that it was Lin Wuti's doing. Even the people of the blue race thought so. However, they didn't dare to make a move. As long as Lin Wuti hid in the Dao sect, they would not be able to do anything. With the talent that Lin Wuti had displayed, no one in the Dao would be allowed to make a move against him. Did this guy break through? Or did he break through here? Oh heavens, his lightning tribulation was too terrifying. The Hellfire Dragon was shocked. This lightning tribulation was similar to the young Great Emperor. There were even human-shaped lightning bolts in the void for Lin Xian to attack. After a huge battle, Lin Xian was covered in wounds. However, he still succeeded in passing the tribulation. The aura on his body exploded once again. He had reached the peak of the Saint King realm. One more step and he would be the great sage. After breaking through, Lin Xian's strength had become even stronger than before. This way, he would have a higher chance of winning against the Dragon Prince. Lin Xian came to the bottom of the sky-reaching ancient tree. He sat cross-legged on the spring of life. The strong vitality restored his body. Soon, he was back to his peak. Then, he left the sword world and continued to challenge the last 3 levels. Finally, the Holy Abyss ancient city became more and more lively. Countless families and sects gathered from all over the world. They all had one goal, which was to participate in the king-conferring ceremony. The coronation of the Dragon Prince and the crowning of a crowned king attracted attention from all sides. At this moment, the Dao sect was also unusually solemn. There were still 2 more days before the most important moment. On the Divine Union side, the dark red Divine Dragon was also paying close attention. More and more people had arrived. Even the experts from Taiching Ancient City had come. Bai Susu looked into the distance. There was a pagoda that stood tall in the 9 heavens. She sighed. How was that guy's progress? Would he be able to come out at the last moment? This was a moment of life and death for the Divine Union. Bai Susu's father was a core elder. He had already sent news that the Divine Union was in danger. Chapter 50-71. The day had finally arrived. It was time for the Dragon Prince's coronation. The sky had just brightened when the entire True Path sect was bustling with noise and excitement. Countless people rushed over. The True Path sect's elders and geniuses went out to welcome the guests. Congratulatory voices could be heard one after another. Everyone was looking forward to it. These people were familiar with the coronation ceremony because they had seen it once before. That was the coronation of Kun Pengzi. Not much time had passed between the two. It was only about 20 years. Kun Pengzi naturally came as well. He stood there with his hands behind his back. Around him were the elders and experts of the True Path sect. At this moment, he looked up and narrowed his eyes. The other people discussed spiritedly, "Do you think these 2 imperial princes will come to fight?" It was hard to say. If they were to fight, it would probably be after today. After all, the Dragon Prince was going to be crowned king today. Discussions broke out one after another. Soon, the people from the Dragon Palace arrived as well. They raised their heads proudly. After arriving, they received countless tributes. Most of them were from the clans and sects under their control. The people from the Thousand Dragon Court arrived. The core elders of the True Path sect also appeared. Even the divine generals of the Sacred Abyss Tower arrived. They would be hosting the coronation ceremony together. The Dragon Prince had also arrived. He was like a dragon god looking down on everyone. His arrival caused countless people to exclaim. Some young geniuses were envious. Leaf Dao Denier and Ancient Wind were both feeling the pressure. The other party's bloodline talent was stronger than theirs. Now that he was crowned king before them, they would be under a lot of pressure if they wanted to catch up. Kun Pengzi's eyes shone brightly. The Dragon Prince also turned his head and stared at the other party. The corners of his mouth curled up. Don't worry, you and I will fight after today. When the time comes, we will decide who is better. As you wish. Kun Pengzi's voice was sonorous. Next, the Dragon Prince accepted the coronation ceremony. A crown appeared in the Sacred Abyss Divine General's hand. Everyone was looking forward to it. As long as the crown was placed on the Dragon Prince's head, he would be crowned king in the future. In the crowd, the people of the Divine Union gritted their teeth when they saw this. Damn it! The dark red divine dragon and the others were also anxious. That kid wasn't here yet. The people from the Dragon Palace sneered. From now on, the Dragon Prince would be revered. Lin Woody was dead. Today, he must die. A series of cold harumphs could be heard. The Dragon Prince put on the crown and became the Crown King. He stood in front and looked around. He accepted the worship and congratulations of the people around him. The surrounding clan of the ancients and the great sects all looked envious. A son should be like a Dragon Prince. If such a person could appear in their clan, then they would have no worries for the next 10,000 years. The Dragon King, who was wearing a crown, shouted coldly. Where was Lin Xian? Didn't he always want to challenge my Dragon Palace? Come out and fight. His words caused an uproar. Heavens, the other party was really going to attack Lin Xian. Exclamations could be heard one after another. The members of the Divine Union had ugly expressions on their faces. The people of Dragon Palace sneered. Wasn't he arrogant before? Aren't you looking down on Dragon Palace? Why don't you dare to come out now? Coward, trash. Ants. Someone like him dared to call himself invincible? Someone even snorted. Lin Xian didn't come out, but the people of the Divine Union seemed to be here. Attacking them was the same. Countless pairs of eyes stared at the dark red divine dragon and the others. The surrounding people dispersed and an empty space appeared. The dark red divine dragon, by Susu, and the other members of the Divine Union had ugly expressions on their faces. Damn it, the other party was indeed attacking them. In front, a core elder of the Dao sect looked over and said coldly, Susu, come over. You'd better not have anything to do with the Divine Union. Bai Susu was the daughter of an elder, so she naturally had to be taken away. Bai Susu's face turned ugly when she heard this. This meant that the True Path sect had given up on Lin Xian and chosen the Dragon Prince. Bai Susu's father, Elder Bai, stepped forward and said, It's not good to start a fight in such a grand event. I think the dragons won't start a fight, given their tolerance. Elder Bai, you'd better not interfere in this matter, the powerhouse of the 10,000 Dragon Court said coldly. The Dragon Prince sneered. Are you qualified to interfere in my matters? Elder Bai's face turned cold as well. However, he didn't say anything else. He was only a core elder and couldn't go against the entire dragons. Alright, people of the Divine Union, kneel down and accept your death. We'll let the world know the consequences of challenging the Dragon Prince. The powerhouses of the dragons stood up and stood tall in the sky. Around them, the Blue Tribe shouted. The aristocratic families also sneered and walked over. The other sects and families looked on coldly. Who would dare to stop the Dragon Prince? It could only be said that the people of the Divine Union didn't know their limits. The geniuses of the Divine Union also came from different sects and families. Many of them stepped forward. For example, the Nalan family, the Dugu family, and even the Fire Dragon family stepped forward. Why? Do you want to be exterminated? In that case, I'll fulfill your wishes. Long Huangzi stepped forward and the people around him felt their scalps go numb. At this moment, Elder Bai also stepped forward. When the people with souls appeared, they also gathered together to form a force. Many people were surprised. They hadn't expected that so many people would still stand by Lin Xian under such circumstances. This was unbelievable. He. So what? The leader of the Blue Tribe snorted. You guys are just like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. Apart from the 10,000 Dragon Court, the number of aristocratic families and sects on their side far exceeded that of the Divine Union. If they really fought, the people of the Divine Union would be annihilated in an instant. Really? Why don't you add us in? Another cold voice was heard. Then, the Pill Cauldron sect from the Taiching ancient city walked over and stood on the side of the Divine Union. The Wushuang city also came. Fu Hongye, Lu Yuan, and the rest led the people of the Wushuang city over from afar. Although the Wushuang city had just been established and couldn't be compared to the aristocratic families and sects of the ancients, they were still fearless. However, they weren't afraid. They also stood up. The Eternal Life Hall and the Fire God Palace also stepped forward. Many people were even more shocked by the arrival of two other top-notch sections. This time, the strength of the Divine Union was even stronger than before. Everyone was watching. The people of the Sky sect squinted their eyes. Had Lin Xian not appeared yet? Kuan Pengzi asked. The people of the Sky sect shook their heads. They didn't know where his real body was. Perhaps he was really a coward. On the other side, Wu Dao stood there with the elders of the Yi family. Yi Wu Dao had said that he would take action if necessary. On the other side, the people of the Purple Mansion, Wind Tribe, and Golden Crow Tribe sneered. It seemed like they didn't need to do anything. Lin Xian and the rest would be annihilated. The Dark Red Dragon also roared. So what if it was the 10,000 Dragon Court? Could they represent the dragons? Chapter 5072. Another member of the dragons. Countless people looked at this scene in shock. The people from the Dragon Palace also frowned. An elder from the 10,000 Dragon Court snorted. The dragons of the Black Sea. So you're from the Black Sea dragons. The surrounding people suddenly understood. There were many dragons, such as the 10,000 Dragon Court. Other than that, there were also fire dragons, flying dragons, and so on. Long Ao was from the Dragon Sea. Other than that, there were other dragons that were very powerful. They were the dragons of the Black Sea. They didn't expect that the dark red dragon beside Lin Xian was from the dragons of the Black Sea. The experts of the Black Sea dragons came nearby. They brought with them a powerful dragon aura. Angry shouts could be heard. 10,000 Dragon Court, if you want to fight, we'll fight you to the end. Just you. The Dragon Prince snorted. It seemed that there was no need for the dragons of the Black Sea to exist. His voice was filled with a terrifying killing intent. Everyone's pupils constricted. The people of the Black Sea dragon snorted. You can say that when you become a true emperor. You're not qualified now. Is that so? Long Huangzi took a step forward. The power in his body erupted and swept across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Everyone felt their bodies shake as if they were about to split open. It was too terrifying. They couldn't imagine what kind of cultivation level the Dragon Prince had reached. Following the Dragon Prince's actions, the 10,000 Dragon Court, the Dragon Sea race, and the Blue race, as well as the surrounding sects, they all walked over. They emitted terrifying killing intent. A great battle was about to break out. The dark red divine dragon and the others had solemn expressions. Although they had also brought along many powerful clans, although they had many powerful families, they would be at a disadvantage if they really fought. At this critical moment, the void shattered. An iron rod appeared in the air and charged toward the Dragon Prince. With a boom, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Endless cracks appeared in the void. The dragons around the Dragon Prince spat out blood and flew backward. A few of them instantly turned into a bloody mist. Everyone was dumbfounded. Who dared to attack the Dragon Prince? The Dragon Prince was furious. Did they want to die? He roared angrily and punched out. With a loud bang, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The next moment, the Dragon Prince's heart sank. He could feel that the attack was powerful and contained boundless power. It made his fists feel numb. He faced the sky and roared. 10,000 dragon phantoms appeared around him, shattering heaven and earth. Only then did he manage to block the attack. The surrounding people all retreated frantically. They were shocked. Who was it? Why was the Dragon Prince so angry? Could it be that he was an extremely terrifying veteran expert? In their opinion, there was no one in the younger generation who could compete with the Dragon Prince, unless it was an expert from the older generation. The people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty roared furiously. No matter which family he was from, he was going to die. You and your family and sect don't even think about living. How arrogant! You actually dare to threaten me. Eat old son's rod. A cold shout was heard as the iron cudgel swept out again. The elder of the dragons was sent flying. That elder spat out blood and screamed miserably. He did everything he could to resist, but half of his body was still shattered, turning into a bloody mist. How powerful! Even the elders of the dragons are no match for him. Who exactly are you? Even the elders of the Tao sect walked out. They stood in the void. The divine generals of the Sacred Abyss Tower were also on guard. Now that the Dragon Prince was crowned, he was under their protection. A figure appeared in the void. Everyone looked carefully. It was a monkey. Everyone was stunned. A monkey holding an iron cudgel stood between heaven and earth with auspicious clouds dancing under his feet. What was even more shocking was that the other party's vitality was very vigorous. It seemed that he wasn't an elder at all. He was a young expert. Was he another top young genius? Everyone felt that they were going crazy. There was someone in the younger generation who could compete with the Dragon Prince. What was going on? They were all dumbfounded. Kuanping Zi's eyes burst out with a terrifying black and white light. The Dragon Prince couldn't believe it. His face was pale. In the next moment, he walked out and said loudly, "Tell me who you are, or don't blame me for being rude." Sun Qitian laughed. Rude? You? To be honest, old son, don't put you in my eyes. Show me what you have. If Lin Xian was here, he would definitely recognize that this was Sun Qitian, whom he had rescued from the underworld. The Dragon Prince's face was cold. Someone dared to challenge him at the moment of his coronation. He couldn't stand it. What made him even angrier was that the other party attacked before he even made a move. An iron cudgel swept in all directions. The Dragon Prince was furious. Dragon Dao Divine Fist. With a punch, various divine dragon phantoms appeared and blocked the terrifying iron cudgel. The collision between the two was earth-shattering. Then, a great battle broke out. They charged towards the clouds. The void and the 9 heavens shattered. All kinds of laws condensed and the sky was torn into nothingness. It was too terrifying. They were evenly matched. This monkey could really compete with the Dragon Prince. Countless terrified voices sounded. The people of the Dragon Palace couldn't believe it. Kuanping Zi's face was cold. The people beside him asked, "What's going on?" Kuanping Zi gritted his teeth and said, "Can't you feel it? He has a super strong bloodline that seems to be able to cut through heaven and earth. I'm guessing that he is also a Thearch. Or maybe he has inherited some kind of Thearch's legacy and cultivated it since he was young." Kuanping Zi could only think of 2 kinds of people who could have such a bloodline aura. However, no matter which one it was, they were both peerless enemies. One of them was the son of a Thearch, and the other was the disciple of a Thearch. They couldn't be underestimated. The people on the Divine Union side were also stunned. Originally, they had been facing a formidable enemy. They had been expecting to face the wrath of the Dragon Prince. However, they hadn't expected such a turn of events. A monkey with amazing strength fought with the Dragon Prince directly. They all heaved a sigh of relief. Bai Susu also said, "That's great. We have won some time." However, Hanya had a strange expression. He glanced at his father, the Han Xingjun. He asked, "Father, is that him?" The Han Xingjun took a deep breath and nodded. "It shouldn't be wrong. It's him. I didn't expect him to come here. Was it a coincidence?" The toad exclaimed, "No way. You know him. Do you know his background?" The other people of the Divine Union also looked over. The Han Xingjun said, "I have never heard of this monkey. I know his background, but do you know him?" "We don't know him. Young Master Lin knows him." "What? Lin Xian knows this monkey?" Bai Susu and the others were even more stunned. The Han Xingjun said a few simple words and everyone understood. It turned out that this monkey had been suppressed in the 18 levels of hell and had been saved by Lin Xian. They had even become brothers. "That's great." The dark red divine dragon and the others laughed. With such an expert here, they could contend with the Dragon Prince. Chapter 5073. "Hey, Brother Monkey, we're Lin Woody's brothers and friends." The dark red divine dragon shouted from below. The toad shouted too. "Brother Monkey, the guy you're fighting is our enemy. He wants to kill Lin Woody. You have to take revenge for us." The surrounding people were stunned when they heard this. These two guys are too naive. Do they think they can get close to him by calling him Brother Monkey? What a joke. The people from Dragon Palace sneered. They felt that the dark red divine dragon and the toad were too stupid. However, at this moment, a voice came from the 9 heavens. "Is that so? You guys know my brother, Lin Woody. Then we're brothers too." Sun Qitian looked at the Dragon Prince in front of him and his face darkened. "How dare you lay your hands on my brother? Take my rod." Boom! This blow shattered the heavens and the earth. The ground below was also shaking non-stop. If this wasn't Primeval City, this blow would have turned the city into ashes. The Dragon Prince was pushed back and his face changed. He roared and executed the Dragon Traversal 9 Revolution, charging over aggressively. Damn! What's going on? This monkey really knows Lin Woody. Moreover, they're brothers. The surrounding people were dumbfounded. The people from Dragon Palace were so angry that they vomited blood. It can't be so coincidental, right? How can he know any expert? Lin Woody. Damn it. Had the people from the Divine Union specially invited him over? Kuinping Zi and the rest were also surprised. How many cards does this Lin Woody have? Another shocking blow came from the sky. The Dragon Prince's face turned ugly. "Monkey, you've completely angered me." A long spear appeared in his hand. It was a dragon spear. It was extremely terrifying and was held by him. Thousands of dragons were roaring and the Dragon Prince's bloodline was erupting. It seemed like an earth-shattering battle was about to happen. Everyone looked up in excitement. Sun Qitian snorted and his iron rod shook the sky. He sneered. "Do you think I'm afraid of you?" The surface of his iron rod was covered in rust. However, mysterious runes appeared one after another, bursting with dazzling light. A great battle was about to break out. However, at this moment, the sound of a bell came from afar, sweeping in all directions. Everyone in Saint Origin City heard it. What happened? Everyone looked into the distance with shock on their faces. Sun Qitian and the Dragon Prince also stopped. The surrounding experts who were watching the coronation also took a deep breath. The Divine General of the Sacred Abyss Tower exclaimed. It was the sound of the Sacred Origin Tower's bell. Someone had reached the peak. What? Countless people were shocked. They were not unfamiliar with this voice. Previously, when the Dragon Prince had reached the peak of the Sacred Abyss Tower, he had made such a sound. Now, it was being spread out again. Heavens, who was it? In such a short time, other than the Dragon Prince, someone else had reached the peak. Who exactly was it? The faces of the people of Dragon Palace darkened. The elders of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty gritted their teeth. Damn, what was going on? Today was the day of their prince's coronation, and they had thought that they would be able to shake the world. However, this was completely out of their expectations. First, a monkey jumped out and fought with their prince to a standstill. Now, there was news that someone had reached the peak of the Sacred Abyss Tower. This completely attracted everyone's attention, and no one paid attention to the Dragon Prince anymore. Damn it, someone was ruining their good fortune. No matter who it was, they would never let this person go. Sacred Abyss Tower. At this moment, the people inside were also shocked. This was the sound of someone reaching the peak. Someone had reached the peak. Who was it? Countless people went to the hall on the first floor to look for the ranking. The Divine Generals were also alarmed. One by one, they soared into the air and began to investigate. At this moment, everyone in the hall was looking at the Sacred Origin ranking in front of them. They were searching. Kuinpingzi and the Dragon Prince had reached the peak one after another. After them, a new name appeared. Mad God. It was him. It was Mad God. Heavens, wasn't he ranked in the top 1,000 a decade ago? Now, he could reach the peak. This was too heaven-defying. What kind of person is this Mad God? I'm guessing that he's an emperor. A peerless expert. Where was Mad God? Exclamations came one after another. At the same time, the news spread in all directions. When the Divine Generals heard the news, all of them were dumbfounded. It was Mad God. Divine General Yungu and the others were shocked. Divine General Hai Yuan also took a deep breath. They were no strangers to this person. They had even worked together before. However, in the past 10 years, he had disappeared and never appeared again. They did not expect him to reach the peak now. It was too unbelievable. Find him. This time, they must find him. These Divine Generals moved out one after another. They would not let the other party escape. They had to find out who the other party was. Divine General Hai Yuan and the others moved quickly. As for Lin Xian, at this moment, he felt the aura of a god. It pierced through heaven and earth. He was baptized. This aura made his life level rise again. Although Lin Xian wasn't an emperor's son, his bloodline and physique were truly extraordinary. He had far surpassed the great sage. Endless resources fell from the sky. This was his reward for reaching the peak. Lin Xian opened the sword world and took it all in. This was enough for him to create another Four-Spirit Valley. This reward was too generous. Lin Xian was overjoyed. At the same time, he proved that he was not weaker than the emperor. What the emperor could do, he could do too. He was crowned king. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a terrifying light. At this moment, the void fluctuated and several figures rushed over. Lin Xian looked over and was stunned. The people who rushed over were also stunned. They were none other than the Divine Generals of the Sacred Abyss Tower. These people wanted to find out the true identity of Mad God. When they arrived, they were stunned. "It's you, Lin Xian." They were dumbfounded. They also knew this person. Why was he here? For a moment, their minds went blank. Soon, they reacted. Could it be that he was Mad God? They were too shocked. They had thought that there were many possibilities for Mad God. He could even be a peerless genius of another emperor race. However, they had never thought that Mad God was Lin Xian. This was too shocking. In an instant, they understood a lot. No wonder Mad God had helped Lin Xian many times. It turned out that the two were the same person. "Seniors, long time no see." Lin Xian cupped his fists and smiled. "Young Master Lin, you're really good. You've been hiding it from us for a long time." Divine General Hai Yuan also smiled and greeted him. At the same time, the news spread out. In the Dao sect, where the coronation was held, countless people were waiting anxiously. They had already sent people to investigate which expert had reached the peak of the sacred abyss tower. At this moment, news came back. Reporting to the Patriarch, "We've found out." Chapter 5074. Who is it? Those experts quickly asked. They were very good. The others also pricked up their ears. They had already guessed a few people. These people were ranked in the top 5 of the Holy Gulf list. Only a few of them could succeed. The guard in front said. It was Mad God. Mad God had reached the peak. What? Mad God. The surrounding people were all stunned when they heard this. They were no strangers to this name because this was an expert who had suddenly risen more than 10 years ago. He had killed the 1000th on the Holy Gulf list several times, which had shocked countless people. Later on, he had challenged everyone. Especially when he was in the Heavenly Court ruins, he had become famous and had caused countless exclamations. However, no matter how strong he was still far from reaching the peak. No one would think that Mad God could reach the peak. But now, these guards were telling them that he was the one who had reached the peak. This was unbelievable. Are you sure? The elders roared crazily. The guard said. Yes, the Holy Gulf list had shown his name, which was on par with Kunping Zi and the Dragon Prince. It was really Mad God. Countless people were shocked, and the others had different expressions after hearing it. The Blue Clan and the others were livid, and the people of the Dragon Palace were completely gloomy. Especially the Dragon Prince, his eyes were filled with extremely cold killing intent. What was Mad God trying to do? Why didn't he break through earlier or later? Why did he have to break through when he was crowned king? Was he challenging him? More importantly, Mad God was on Lin Xian's side. In other words, another powerful enemy had appeared. Damn it, could there be a problem with the Holy Gulf Tower? How could that trash reach the peak? The Dragon Prince couldn't believe it. Kunping Zi also frowned. He didn't expect Lin Xian to be able to compete with the Dragon Prince. Now, there was another Mad God who had reached the peak. Was he going to be crowned king too? This change was really too fast. The other geniuses felt a huge amount of pressure. They discovered that right now, there was already a watershed. These imperial princes reached the peak, crowned kings, standing at the very top. There were a few top princes who could compete with them, but there were very few of them. No matter how strong the others were. He could only look up at these people. Perhaps the gap between the two of them would never be able to be crossed in this lifetime. The people from the Divine Union laughed heartily when they heard this. That was great. The Mad God was on their side. We are saved here. This was what the ordinary members of the Divine Union thought. However, people like the dark red Divine Dragon Toad were even happier. They knew that Mad God was Lin Xian. Previously, Lin Xian's main body had gone to attack the Sacred Abyss Tower, and now, he had finally achieved results. Quickly go and investigate. What kind of snobbish person was Mad God? The people from the surrounding clans and sects sent people out again. However, at this moment, a few figures flew over from afar. Their speed was very fast. In the blink of an eye, they had arrived in the sky. Everyone looked up and cried out in surprise. It's him. They discovered that the newcomers were divine generals from the Sacred Abyss Tower. In addition, standing at the very front was a young man that everyone was very familiar with. Lin Xian. Was he going to challenge the Dragon Prince this time? What kind of joke was this? If he wanted to hide, he might be able to live a few more years. If he came out now, he would definitely be slapped to death. Damn brat. How dare you come? The people from the Dragon Palace also jumped out immediately. The people from the Blue Tribe were even more furious. Kneel down and accept your death. Lin Xian's gaze turned into a divine sword and pierced through these people. These people were instantly nailed to death in the void. The others felt their scalps go numb. They had not expected the other party to be so bold as to kill other experts here. You are courting death. How dare you attack? Angry shouts could be heard. Lin Xian sneered. I have said before that ants have no right to jump in front of me. Otherwise, you will die. Whoever is not convinced can come over. I will grant him death. Lin Xian's gaze swept across the crowd. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. They could feel a biting cold. He was too strong. Had Lin Wuti become so strong? Just his gaze alone was enough to make them unable to resist. Brat, you really dared to come. The Dragon Prince laughed. Initially, I thought that I would not be able to find you if you hid. I did not expect you to be such an idiot. Since you're here, fine. Leave your last words. Today, I'm going to start with you. I will let everyone know the consequences of going against me. The Dragon Prince released a terrifying killing intent. He had already decided to kill Lin Xian here. A few elders of the True Path sect walked out and said coldly. Lin Xian, apologize to the Dragon Prince. Then, we will spare your life. That's right, you've gone too far. Hurry up and apologize to the Dragon Prince. Today is the Dragon Prince's coronation. If you dare to cause trouble, don't blame me for suppressing you personally. A cold voice could be heard, causing everyone's face to change. Bai Susu and the others looked solemn. Damn it. Has the Dao sect completely sided with the Dragon Prince? Lin Xian frowned as well. Turning his head, he realized that the few elders of the Dao sect were extremely powerful. They were even more terrifying than Elder Bai. Could they be even more terrifying? Core elders. He knew that with his relationship with the Dragon Prince, the True Path sect could only support one of them. But he did not care. Because he had not shown his true strength yet. When he was crowned, he wanted to see if all the elders of the True Path sect would support the Dragon Prince. With that thought, Lin Xian laughed out loud. Apologize. Do I deserve it? Hearing that, everyone's face changed. If the Dragon Prince did not deserve it, then no one else in the world deserved it. The elders of the True Path sect looked cold. Lin Xian, don't refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. Now is not the time for you to behave atrociously. One of the divine generals walked out and said in a low voice. Leave quickly. The coronation was not over yet. The elders of the Thousand Dragon Dynasty walked out and wanted to attack. At that moment, Lin Xian snorted coldly. You want to attack me? Can you bear the consequences? Let me tell you, I am not here to behave atrociously. I have something to do. What can you do? Are you here to watch the coronation? Sorry, the dragons do not welcome you. Scram. The people of the Thousand Dragon Dynasty shouted coldly. At that moment, an iron rod smashed over and tore through the 9 heavens. The people of the Thousand Dragon Dynasty felt their blood boil. Sun Qitian said coldly. If you dare to say another word, I will destroy your soul. Damn monkey. The experts of the Thousand Dragon Dynasty gritted their teeth. Sun Qitian waved the iron rod and smashed him into pieces. A tragic sound spread out and everyone's scalps went numb. Sun Qitian snorted coldly. I already warned you and you still dared to speak. I will send you to hell. Everyone was shocked. This monkey was too strong. Lin Xian smiled as well. Brother monkey, you're here too. Chapter 50-75. The Dragon Prince stood there with a cold expression. He didn't need to do anything. Someone would take care of these people. As expected, the elders of the Path sect walked out. The divine generals of the Sacred Abyss Tower also walked out. They all supported the Dragon Prince with all their might. They definitely wouldn't let anyone challenge the king conferral ceremony. With so many elders coming out, the others felt their scalps go numb. Even if these two were imperial princes, they could only run away in the face of such terrifying experts. This was too much. Sun Qitian was furious. His body emitted a terrifying light. Lin Xian said, Don't worry, brother monkey. Let me do it. He walked forward. The surrounding people were stunned. Even the monkey couldn't do anything to them. How could Lin Xian deal with them? What a joke. The surrounding people were all experts of the older generation. They were so strong that they could crush the other party with a finger. The people of the Thousand Dragon Dynasty sneered. They wanted to see what tricks the other party could play. Lin Xian looked at the Dragon Prince and sneered. You want me to participate in your king conferral ceremony? You think too much. What's so good about your king conferral ceremony? I'm not interested. I'm here because I want to be crowned king conferral ceremony. What? The people around him were all stunned. Their brains couldn't even react. Lin Xian's words were too shocking. He wasn't interested in the Dragon Prince's king conferral ceremony. He wanted to be crowned king conferral ceremony. Heavens, what kind of joke was this? Was being crowned king conferral ceremony something that could be conferred as one wished? It wasn't a title that was given casually. One had to reach the peak of the Sacred Abyss Tower to be qualified. Otherwise, who would dare to be crowned king conferral ceremony? They would be smashed into a bloody mist by the Sacred Abyss Divine General. Now, Lin Xian actually said such arrogant words in front of the Divine General. In the square, the Divine General was also furious. His eyes were like divine swords that pierced through heaven and earth as he stared at Lin Xian. Are you challenging the dignity of the Sacred Abyss Tower? Hurry up and kneel down and kowtow. Otherwise, even if you're a disciple of the Tao, I can destroy your soul. It's over. This kid is dead. Everyone shook their heads. Since the Divine General was angry, who could save him? Even this monkey couldn't do it. The people of Dragon Palace sneered. What an idiot. The people from the Blue Clan and Zifu heaved a sigh of relief. Great, they could finally watch this guy die. Let's see who dares to touch him. However, at this moment, a loud and clear voice rang out between heaven and earth. Immediately after, two figures that resembled war gods appeared around Lin Xian. Everyone was dumbfounded because they were also two divine generals. What was going on? Why would these two immortal generals help Lin Xian? Everyone was confused. The people of Dragon Palace frowned. He was the immortal general of the Dragon Prince. Divine General Fire Cloud said with a cold expression. What is the meaning of this? Do you want to break the rules of the Sacred Abyss Tower as well? Or did this kid give you some benefits? Questioning voices sounded. The atmosphere between heaven and earth froze. Divine General Ocean Abyss said coldly. We didn't break the rules. We came here to witness Lin Xian's coronation. Him being crowned king. What kind of joke was this? Was he qualified? The Dragon Prince sneered. The people around him also laughed. Divine General Yungu said that he was indeed qualified. As soon as he said that, the laughter between heaven and earth stopped. He was qualified. What a joke. They didn't understand. However, at this moment, the pupils of a few experts constricted. An elder of the Earth sect exclaimed. Someone had just reached the peak of the Sacred Abyss Tower. Could it be you? As soon as he said that, the others were in an uproar. No way. Didn't they say that the one who reached the peak of the Sacred Abyss Tower was Mad God? Why was it Lin Xian again? Yes, it definitely couldn't be him. How could he be Mad God? However, there were also people who said that it wasn't right. One could not use their real names in the Sacred Abyss Tower. Dragon Prince, Kunping Zi, those were all titles. Mad God could also be a title. Besides, no one knew the true identity of Mad God. Perhaps it really was this kid. As soon as he said that, countless people were in an uproar. They all looked up at the sky. Was it really him? Were you Mad God? The Dragon Prince was also stunned. He was so angry that his body was trembling after being slapped in the face by Divine General Ocean Abyss. Lin Xian looked around and said loudly, That's right, I'm Mad God. Everyone was going crazy. Was it really him? They had only guessed before, but now they heard it with their own ears. They were still shocked. The people from the Blue Tribe, Purple Mansion Tribe, and Golden Crow Tribe were all stunned. The other party actually had such strength. They couldn't believe it. However, the other experts had grave expressions on their faces. They carefully recalled the relationship between Mad God and Lin Xian. They realized that Mad God had always helped Lin Xian with all his might. If these two people were the same person, then everything that had happened before could be explained. In addition, two divine generals had come personally. This was enough to prove that everything was real. The other party was Mad God. The people from the Divine Union were also stunned. They knew that Mad God was on their side. However, they had never imagined that their boss, the leader of the Divine Union, would be Mad God himself. This was too unbelievable. After the shock, they were overjoyed. Great, their boss Lin had also reached the peak. He had been crowned king. He wasn't any weaker than the Dragon Prince. Let's see who still dares to look down on us. The Nalan family, the Dugu family, the Pill Cauldron sect, and the other supporters of the Divine Union were also stunned. To be honest, they had all received help from Lin Xian. Now that Lin Xian was in danger, they naturally had to help him. However, Mad God's identity still shocked them. The people from the Fire Dragon tribe were also scared. Fortunately, they had still stood on Lin Xian's side. Otherwise, they would have been the first to be destroyed by Lin Xian. Lin Xian looked ahead and said coldly, Divine General Fire Cloud, do I have the right to stand here? Patriarchs of the Dao sect, do you still want to make a move on me? A questioning voice rang out, shocking countless people. Was this guy going against the patriarchs? The divine general Fire Cloud snorted but didn't say a word. Even the patriarchs of the Tao sect had cold looks on their faces. Elder Bai laughed heartily. Young Master Lin, you are indeed unexpected. Our Tao sect is going to hold another king conferral ceremony today. After saying that, he flew into the distance and waved his hand, creating an empty space. Lin Xian also walked over there. Today, I am going to be crowned king. Lin Xian's voice reverberated in all directions. Those who had come to congratulate him were shocked. Crowning 2 kings in one day was something that had never happened before. Was it going to happen right before their eyes? Were they going to witness history? Countless shocked voices rang out. This was too unbelievable. These people looked at the Tao sect with envy. 2 kings had appeared in the Tao sect in one day. They would probably reach the peak in the future and surpass the other orthodoxies. Indeed, the people from the Sky sect and Earth sect had ugly looks on their faces. This was especially so for the Sky sect. Previously, Kuinping Zi had been crowned first, allowing them to surpass the other 2 orthodoxies. It could be said that they were unparalleled. But now, the Tao sect had 2 king conferral geniuses, completely surpassing them. Chapter 50-76. Kuinping Zi's eyes shone with a cold light as he stared at Lin Xian. Previously, it was only rumored that Lin Xian could contend with the Dragon Prince. However, resisting 2 moves and truly fighting side by side with the Crown Prince were 2 different things. In his opinion, the Dragon Prince was just being careless. Once he attacked with his full strength, Lin Xian would definitely die. Therefore, he didn't take it to heart. However, it was completely different now. The other party was the Mad God. He had directly reached the peak of the Holy Abyss and was going to be crowned king today. This showed that he was not weaker than them at all. The other party was not a crown prince and did not have a powerful bloodline, but he was not weaker than them. This was something that only a young great emperor could do. The other party had the potential to become a great emperor. This was not good news for him. Yi Wudao took a deep breath. As expected of Brother Lin, he was indeed strong. However, he would not fall behind. His eyes shone with a cold light. On the other side, Gu Feng of the Gu family gritted his teeth. He and Lin Xian were also enemies. At this moment, the other party was dazzling, so he was naturally angry. As for the other geniuses, some were filled with killing intent, some were envious, and some were about to go mad. The heavenly sect elder's face was cold. At this moment, he sneered. 2 kings being crowned. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. Old Zhang, what do you mean by that? The heavenly sect disciples were puzzled. The heavenly sect elder laughed. If it was someone else who was crowned king, they would naturally be above us in the end. However, these 2 kings are mortal enemies. There will be a battle between the 2 of them, and only one of them can survive. Do you think this is a good thing for the Tao sect? Perhaps in the end, both sides would suffer great losses, or even perish together. The Tao sect will never allow such a thing to happen. I think they can only choose one of the 2. How could the other be willing to be abandoned? This was a king. A young great emperor. How could such a person not retaliate? Therefore, no matter what, the Tao sect would be unlucky. Hearing this, the heavenly sect's crown prince also gloated. When the others heard this, they all sucked in a breath of cold air. They also wanted to see how the situation would develop. After Lin Xian landed, a crown appeared in the Ocean Abyss Divine General's hand, ready to crown him as king. However, only Elder Bai from the Tao sect had come. The other elders had not come. They were all on the Dragon Prince's side. Countless people were shocked. It seemed like the Dao sect was still going to choose the Dragon Prince. Someone sighed. It couldn't be helped. Although Lin Xian was extraordinary, the Dragon Prince was even more terrifying. He was an imperial prince, and he had an imperial clan behind him. That kind of strength was definitely not something that Lin Xian could possess. Therefore, it was normal for them to give up on Lin Xian. Everyone knew that it wasn't because Lin Xian was weak. However, the Dragon Prince was too powerful. His status and background surpassed everything else. At this moment, another old man walked out from the path. He had the demeanor of a transcendent being, like an old immortal. His eyes flickered with a mysterious light. His appearance caused the people from the Dao sect to immediately salute him. Greetings, Fantasy World Old Ancestor. Lin Xian also looked over and narrowed his eyes. He had seen Ancestor Huanshe once before. He had come out during the Dao sect's gathering. This was a true ancestor. His decision alone was equivalent to the opinions of hundreds of Dao sect elders. Therefore, everyone wanted to know who Ancestor Huanshe supported. The Dragon Prince also looked back and bowed slightly. Greetings, Ancestor Huanshe. Ancestor Huanshe nodded. Dragon Prince, I'm not too late to be crowned, right? Hearing this, the Dragon Prince smiled. Senior, you're too polite. It's the honor of the dragons that Senior can come. Senior, please. The people from the Dragon Palace quickly invited Ancestor Huanshe over respectfully. At the same time, they were also overjoyed that a Dao sect ancestor was on their side. This could very well represent the will of the Dao sect. In other words, the Dao sect had supported them and given up on Lin Xian. When the others saw this, they were also in an uproar. Many people shook their heads and sighed. Lin Xian, mad god, what a pity. The people from the Divine Union were also in despair. Bai Susu and the others gritted their teeth. Damn it, how did this happen? Can't the crowned king fight against the Dragon Emperor? The dark red divine dragon and the others gritted their teeth. So what if it was the Dao sect? At most, they would leave this place and find a chance to kill the Dragon Prince. They were infuriated. The Dragon Prince turned to Lin Xian and smiled. Looks like you've been abandoned. Today is the day you die. Even if you reach the peak, you will still fall. No one can save you. Lin Xian's expression was solemn. Has the Dao sect made a choice? So what? Even if he left the Dao sect in the future, he would still be able to move forward. Besides, he would have to kill the Dragon Prince sooner or later. At that moment, another figure flew out from the depths of the Dao sect. Countless people were stunned because the aura of the person who came out was equally terrifying. It was as if the world was going to collapse. Everyone was in an uproar. This was the combat strength of the Dao sect ancestor. Was another ancestor coming out? Even the Fantasy World ancestor was stunned. He frowned and looked behind him, his eyes emitting a mysterious light. The Fantasy World ancestor had a pair of illusory eyes and a powerful soul. However, the person who came out had a powerful strength. He was like a god of war who could easily tear the world apart. Wilderness. The Fantasy World ancestor frowned. The people from the other two orthodoxies also exclaimed. It was the Wilderness ancestor. The people from the Dao sect were stunned. The Wilderness ancestor snorted. Why haven't I come out for a long time? Have the disciples of the Dao sect become so unruly? He stomped his foot and the blood of the people around him churned. Many people vomited blood. The Dao sect disciples came back to their senses and hurriedly bowed. Greetings, wilderness ancestor. Please forgive us. The others felt their scalps go numb. This power is too terrifying. The people from the Sky sect and Earth sect frowned. The Tao sect had a total of 5 ancestors. They were the 5 giants. Now, 2 of them had come out. This situation was very abnormal. Could it be that the Dragon Prince was so important? The Dragon Prince also took a deep breath. A hint of excitement appeared in his eyes. These were true giants. Now that 2 of them were on his side, even Kunping Zi would be defeated by him. Thinking of this, he smiled proudly. However, his smile quickly disappeared. The others widened their eyes, and their eyeballs almost fell out of their sockets. The wilderness ancestor did not come to the Dragon Prince's side. Instead, he walked to Lin Xian's side. He kept nodding. Interesting. 9 Yang divine body, right? Little guy, I didn't expect you to be crowned king. Good, very good. I have high hopes for you. He patted Lin Xian's shoulder. The space around Lin Xian shattered. Lin Xian's blood also churned. The other party had already restrained himself. If the other party patted him with all his strength, his divine body would probably not be able to withstand it. However, he also smiled. Thank you, Senior Wilderness. Chapter 5077. Heavens, the savage wilderness patriarch was actually on Lin Xian's side. Could it be that he supported Lin Xian? The people from the Dragon Palace were dumbfounded. The people from the Blue Clan were stunned, and so were the others. The Sky Sect elders' pupils constricted. Impossible, how could there be 2 wills in the Tao sect? Could it be that they were supporting 2 people? The Earth sect experts also tightly knitted their brows. Just what was Tao sect up to? The Fantasy World Patriarch also spoke. What do you mean, savage wilderness? The Savage Wilderness Patriarch laughed. My meaning is very clear. I support this little fellow. I think highly of him. Why didn't you discuss this matter with me before? The Fantasy World Patriarch's expression was ugly. If this was not handled well, the Tao sect might be doomed. Moreover, with so many families and sects here, wouldn't others be watching the show? The Savage Wilderness Patriarch snorted coldly. Do I need to explain my actions to you? You support yours, I support mine. The Fantasy World Patriarch did not say anything else. This matter was beyond his expectations. Moreover, until now, the other 3 old fellows had not come out. It was obvious that they had tacitly agreed. He heaved a sigh, before he remembered. Their Tao sect also had a top genius, who was also an expert of the dragons. His name was Long Guai. The Savage Wilderness Patriarch thought highly of him, but later on, he died. They knew that it was very likely related to the Dragon Prince. However, the Dragon Prince was the Emperor's son and the Tao sect's only hope. Therefore, the Savage Wilderness Patriarch could not do anything. However, it was different now. Someone had been crowned king and could compete with the Dragon Prince. This way, the Savage Wilderness Patriarch would probably immediately support the other party. Moreover, this Lin Xian probably had some relationship with Long Guang. After all, even the Black Sea Dragons were on Lin Xian's side. The following situation was very strange. The coronation of 2 kings had never happened before. Moreover, the Tao had tacitly agreed. Lin Xian's coronation process was very fast. He wore a crown and looked down on the world, receiving the envy and worship of countless people. From today onwards, Lin Xian was the king of crowns. His name could already be recorded in history. Furthermore, it would be engraved on the stone tablet of the sacred Abyss Tower for eternity. The people from Dragon Palace had ugly expressions. Originally, they wanted to use Lin Xian as an example to intimidate the world. But now, not only did he fail, but Lin Xian was now on par with the Dragon Prince. This was completely out of their expectations. Damn it! With the support of the old ancestor, it would be difficult for him to kill the other party in the future. The Dragon Prince's face was gloomy and cold. He had already decided that after the coronation ceremony, he would immediately mobilize experts to kill the other party. He had to kill the other party. This was a huge threat. He would not allow the other party to continue growing. Lin Xian accepted the coronation and was conferred the title of Crown King. He turned around. Everyone, this must be the first time you've seen the coronation of two kings. Don't you want to see which king is stronger? Everyone was stunned when they heard this. Originally, they all wanted to leave, but at this moment, they stopped. All of them looked ahead. What was the meaning of this? Could it be that the other party wanted to attack the Dragon Prince? Heavens, this is too unbelievable. Before this, they were looking forward to Long Huangzi and Kun Pengzi fighting. Now, Lin Xian was going to attack. But it was the same because Lin Xian was also crowned as king. This was definitely going to be a fierce battle. You want to fight with me? The Dragon Prince also frowned. Lin Xian scoffed coldly. Why? You don't dare. If you don't dare, then kneel down and kowtow to me and I will let you leave. You are asking for death. Stupid thing. I was thinking of an excuse to attack you. Since you want to die, then I will grant you your wish. In the king battle, I will use the emperor's ability. If you are not careful, you will die. Therefore, when the time comes, I hope that the seniors and divine generals will forgive me. The Dragon Prince's voice was filled with killing intent. Everyone knew that he was going to kill him. Lin Xian said that if you can't take my ability, you will go to hell. It was good that the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty knew this. Don't embarrass yourself here. If the younger generation couldn't beat him, it would be embarrassing if the older generation attacked. The elders of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty scoffed coldly. They had unlimited confidence in the Dragon Prince. Lin Xian would definitely not lose. Last time, the Dragon Prince was just careless. This time, the Dragon Prince was going to use his full strength to kill Lin Xian. The Dragon Prince raised his hand and an extremely terrifying aura of the Dragon Dao appeared. A pair of dragon claws could tear the sky and the earth apart. Lin Wudi, prepare to die. He slapped out and turned into a giant dragon that pounced over. Green Dragon Palm. With this palm, the green dragon roared and flapped its wings. An endless storm turned into a heavenly blade. It tore the void apart. This power instantly enveloped Lin Xian. It was too terrifying. The Dragon Prince had come and used the dragon's ultimate ability. Lin Xian was probably in danger. Lin Xian formed a seal with his palm and turned into a fearless lion seal. He charged forward. The golden lion roared and slashed at the green dragon palm. A dragon and a lion roared between heaven and earth. It shook the surroundings. Then, the green dragon was torn in half by the golden lion. A terrifying golden light enveloped the Dragon Prince. Countless people exclaimed when they saw this scene. It was so terrifying. Not only did Lin Xian block the Dragon Prince's attack, but he was also able to counterattack. A ray of light erupted where the Dragon Prince was, and a terrifying black hole appeared. 10,000 dragons surrounded him and blocked this attack. However, his expression was extremely ugly. He had underestimated the other party. Although the other party was not a Thearch, his combat strength was not weaker than a Thearchus at all. It seemed that he had to take the other party seriously. 9 Dragon Transformations. As he spoke, 9 giant dragons rolled between heaven and earth, and a terrifying power swept in all directions. "And you have angered me." The phantoms of the 5 giant dragons charged toward Lin Xian with a powerful force. The surrounding people were terrified. The 9 dragon transformations was a peerless theurgy. It was a Thearchus theurgy. This attack was 5 times stronger than before. Demon God Finger. Lin Xian stretched out 5 fingers and pointed forward. 5 fingers flew out, and 5 rays of light swept across heaven and earth like the spears of a demon god. He was also using the theurgy from the demon summoning scripture. As soon as the 5 demon god fingers appeared, heaven and earth shook. Everyone could see that an endless black hole appeared in the void. There was no power to resist it. The 5 giant dragons collided with the 5 demon god fingers, and a shattering sound was heard. The sky was completely shattered, and the 5 giant dragons let out miserable roars. They suffered a crazy blow and almost collapsed. But it had to be said that the Dragon Prince was really too strong. The phantoms of the 5 giant dragons did not shatter. Instead, their huge bodies began to wrap around the 5 black fingers. They wanted to tear them apart. Lin Xian snorted and punched out. The 6-path fist pressed forward. Chapter 50-78. Is he suppressing the Dragon Prince again? This Lin Xian is really strong. The Dragon Prince's face turned ugly. With a roar, dragon blood danced in the air, and countless laws danced around him. It was extremely dazzling. True Dragon 7 Steps. He performed an extremely powerful divine ability, and there were tens of thousands of dragon shadows circling under his feet. The explosive aura made the whole world tremble violently. Everyone exclaimed. They could feel their bodies being pushed back continuously. It was as though this stomp of theirs could turn an entire world into dust and ashes. Boom! With one step, the 9 heavens shattered, and a terrifying power came. The demon god finger shook violently, and endless demon talismans flickered on it to resist. However, when he took the second step, one of the demon god fingers shattered. It turned into monstrous demonic chi. Another step was taken, and the remaining demon god sun fingers also cracked one by one. The true dragon 7 steps was so terrifying. Even the terrifying demon god finger couldn't withstand this step. If he stepped on the body of a sage, no one would be able to withstand it. Lin Xian had the 9 yang divine body, right? Unfortunately, the 9 yang divine body was still a little weaker than the crown prince's physique. He would definitely not be able to withstand it. The people of the Dragon Palace sneered. Dragons had reverse scales. This Lin Xian was definitely going to die if he challenged the Dragon Prince. And everything was over. The Dragon Prince's 4th step caused the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. Several huge cracks that were tens of millions of miles long appeared in the void, spreading into the distance. The surrounding people trembled in fear. Fortunately, at this time, the top great sage joined forces and cast a terrifying saint domain, enveloping the surrounding spectators. Only then did those people let out a sigh of relief. Otherwise, they would probably be turned into ashes under this step. Could Lin Xian block it? Bai Susu and the others were nervous. However, Hong Hunya said, "Don't worry, young Master Lin's strength is definitely beyond your imagination." Back then, he had seen the battle between Lin Xian and the Dead Soul's Abyss with his own eyes. Now that Lin Xian's cultivation had broken through again, his strength was much stronger than before. Therefore, this battle was definitely not a problem. Lin Xian roared, and a huge seal appeared in his hand. Demon God Seal. The true dragon's 7 steps collided with his opponent's attack. Both were martial monarch skills. The battle between the two was utterly terrifying. The stars in the sky fell. The terrifying great Tao swept out in all directions like thunder. The spectators all sighed in admiration. Both of them were supreme youths, too terrifying. If such a person was born in another era, he would definitely become a great emperor. At the very least, he could ascend to the 9 heavens and sweep through the 10,000 worlds. But now, if the two were to fight, one of them would definitely be injured. There were even people who exclaimed in admiration. This was a golden age. Other than these two, there was also Kun Pengzi. The Qilin clan and the Phoenix clan also had princes and princesses. In addition, Yi Wudao from the Yi clan and Gu Feng from the Gu clan had already cultivated the legacy of the great emperors. If they grew up, they would definitely not be weak. In the future, the competition would probably be between these young giants. They knew that such a person had the talent of a young great emperor. But who would be able to walk to the end? Perhaps the competition in this life would be 100 times more difficult than before. In the sky, the dragon prince roared and released the image of a dragon. 6 giant dragons rolled around him. That was the 6th transformation of the true dragon's 9 transformations. It was the strongest state he could use this martial monarch skill in. After all, he was also a peak sage king. To be able to use it to this extent was already enough to shock those in the sage king realm. Lin Xian's expression was also cold. The seal in his hand was terrifying, as if it could turn the world upside down. Not only that, he waved his left hand and used the 6-path fist. Phantoms of 6 worlds revolved around him. He collided with the 6 giant dragons of the opponent. The battle between the two was like a fierce battle between a dragon and a tiger. The dragon prince's face was cold. After fighting with the opponent for so long, they were actually evenly matched. This was something he couldn't tolerate. With a roar, a dragon spear appeared in his hand and he gripped it tightly. With a light shake, hundreds of black holes were torn in the void. This was a legendary sacred weapon, which made countless experts envious. The dragon prince had such a divine weapon at such a young age. This thing, even a clan only had a few of them. The heritage of the monarch clan was really too strong. With the dragon spear in hand, it crushed the world. With one attack, it directly attacked Lin Xian's forehead. Lin Xian was still not afraid. With a wave of his hand, the Hellfire Dragon sword appeared to meet the attack. With a clang, it collided with the dragon spear. The two collided, and the flames were extremely dazzling. With the two of them as the center, a shocking power swept out in all directions. The entire world turned into chaos. It wasn't the Great Destruction. The dark red divine dragon was also surprised. He thought that Lin Xian would use the Great Destruction spear. He didn't expect that what he took out was a sword, and it was something he had never seen before. What a terrifying flame, what a cold aura. What sword was this? The soul sage beside him said that this was the Hellfire Dragon sword. It was a very terrifying legendary sword in the underworld. He didn't expect that young Master Lin would get it. The Hellfire Dragon sword was also a legendary sacred weapon. As soon as he appeared, he displayed powerful power, shocking countless people. Damn, kid, who are you fighting with? It hurts so much to hit me. The Hellfire Dragon sword roared, its eyes staring forward. What a terrifying dragon aura. This guy is not simple. Kid, kill him quickly. I want his dragon blood. I want to use his dragon blood to reforge. No, don't break him. I want his physique. With his physique, I can be reborn. In the sword world, the Hellfire Dragon was also roaring crazily. His eyes were red. This guy's voice was not concealed at all, and it spread between heaven and earth. The spectators were all dumbfounded. This sword was talking. And it dared to have designs on the Dragon Prince. Heavens, what kind of sword was this? Lin Xian was also speechless. He snorted and told himself to be honest. The Dragon Prince was so angry that his whole body trembled. He felt the aura of a dragon from this sword. Obviously, it was something that belonged to him, the dragons. But the other party dared to have designs on him, and even wanted his dragon blood. And wanted to seize his physique. Stupid thing, I am the son of the Dragon Emperor. As a person of the dragons, why don't you submit to me? A cold voice sounded. The Dragon Prince's bloodline suppression completely erupted. At this moment, everyone felt a suppression. It was a suppression that came from the depths of the bloodline. It was as if the other party was a king, and they could only crawl outside. You are the Emperor's son. The Hellfire Dragon's sword was shocked, and then it trembled with excitement. Great, I didn't expect that I would finally meet an Emperor's son. With your physique and bloodline, even if I can't become a great emperor, I can still unify all the dragons in the universe. I want to be the new god of the dragons. The Hellfire Dragon roared crazily, and endless runes appeared on its face. A powerful force exploded. Chapter 50-79. The Hellfire Dragon sword's words were shocking. The faces of the people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty turned ugly. Damn it, they didn't expect Lin Xian to have such a treasure. It was really shocking. The dark red divine dragon laughed. Although this brother is arrogant, he is to my liking. The Dragon Prince roared crazily. He waved his dragon spear and swept it forward. At the same time, his left hand shone brightly, and terrifying dragon scales appeared on it. It seemed to be indestructible. As he waved his arm, monstrous flames appeared. It was the fire of the dragon. Below, the people of the 1,000 Dragon Court all exclaimed when they saw this scene. Great, the Sky Dragon Arm. The Dragon Prince was going to use the Sky Dragon Arm. The others were terrified. The name sounded like a terrifying ultimate technique. And its power was even more terrifying than before. It was obvious that this was also a great emperor's ability. They were envious. Every divine ability in the land of the great emperor's inheritance was terrifying. Now that the Dragon Prince used it, he could kill countless great sage experts with one hit. But now, all these abilities couldn't do anything to Lin Xian. Could the current Heavenly Dragon Arm achieve victory? The Sky Dragon Arm was a super powerful ultimate technique. Once used, it couldn't be used again in a short time. Therefore, the Dragon Prince wouldn't use it easily under normal circumstances. Now he was completely furious. He didn't care about anything else and used the Sky Dragon Arm. The Sky Dragon Arm appeared, and the sky fell and the earth cracked. The stars in the sky had become dim and lightless. He threw out a punch and charged forward. The Hellfire Dragon sword roared crazily. Damn it, kid, I blocked his dragon spear. You can take this punch yourself. He could also feel how terrifying this punch was. If this punch landed on his body, he would probably be beaten until he lost his luster. Lin Xian furrowed his brows in the face of such a terrifying punch. This punch was too fast, and it arrived in front of him in an instant. Kid, let's see how you block it. You want to use my great emperor's ability. Can you beat it? The Dragon Prince sneered proudly. He had the complete Dragon Emperor's inheritance. In his opinion, Lin Xian was just lucky to get a few types of Earth God Emperor. But it couldn't compete with the true Great Emperor's inheritance. Boom! Wherever the heavenly dragon arm passed, the heavens collapsed and the earth cracked. The place Lin Xian was at was completely penetrated and connected to the universe. Endless starlight sprinkled down. Was he dead? Everyone was astonished as they carefully sensed their surroundings. However, in the next moment, they noticed that in the shattered starry sky, a terrifying demonic aura appeared. With a loud boom, an earth-shaking sound rang out. The heavenly dragon arm was blocked. How could this be? People of Dragon Palace couldn't believe it. The heavenly dragon arm was indestructible and belonged to the category of fist arts that could burst out in an instant. If he wanted to condense a second punch, he would need to accumulate time and strength. Even if it was a saint, such a fist art should be a great threat to him. But now, he was actually helpless against Lin Wudi. What did that guy use to block it? Everyone was puzzled. They looked forward and saw a black spear in Lin Xian's left hand. It was emanating a terrifying aura. It was this thing that had blocked the heavenly dragon arm. What a terrifying demonic aura, the Hellfire Dragon sword beside him also exclaimed. Its grade isn't any weaker than mine. Kid, you still have such a treasure now. He was too surprised. This spear was the Great Destruction Spear, a treasure from the demonic realm that Lin Xian had obtained. It was also an inherited sacred weapon from the demonic realm and its power was terrifying. Moreover, it was more suitable for Lin Xian now. Lin Xian was currently cultivating the demonic summoning scripture, the inheritance of a great emperor. It had a monstrous demonic aura. Together with the Great Destruction, its power was multiplied. Hence, he was able to block the punch just now. You think too highly of yourself. Do you think that's all I have? Lin Xian held the Hellfire Dragon sword in one hand and the Great Destruction spear in the other. He brandished the two sacred weapons and charged forward. The Dragon Prince roared and the two of them started fighting again. This guy actually had two legendary divine weapons. Many people's eyes turned red. Holy weapons of the clan of the Ancients were treasures of the clan of the Ancients. Under normal circumstances, they wouldn't be used easily. Even if they were used, it would be by the clan leader or the great elder. There were no young geniuses at all. Unless it was the young clan leader, he might be able to get one. But now, Lin Xian had two. And it seemed that he still had a trump card. This battle would be difficult to determine the winner in a short time. Some martial Dao experts sighed. The others also knew, but they wouldn't leave. Even if they fought for a few months, they would still be here to watch. After all, this was a battle between thearchs, a battle between young paragons. At this moment, Sun Qitian turned around. He looked around and looked at Gu Feng, Yi Wudao, and the others. Then, he looked at Kun Pengzi. I can feel your bloodline. You should be the arch too, right? Do you dare to exchange a few moves with me? Countless people were shocked. This monkey was too crazy. First, he attacked the Dragon Prince, and now he wanted to challenge Kun Pengzi. The expressions of the people from the heavenly sect changed. An elder said, "You're too presumptuous." Sun Qitian snorted coldly and struck out with his staff, shattering the endless void. The heavenly sect elder's pupils constricted. Previously, they were just watching the battle, but when the attack hit them, he was still terrified. This young man could definitely pose a threat to him. Was he really that old? He was angry and wanted to resist with all his strength. At this moment, a figure walked over. "Elder, you can retreat. I'll fight him." Kun Pengzi waved his hand, and a terrifying yin and yang qi appeared, forming a shield. It directly blocked the staff. In the next moment, he soared into the sky. If you want to fight, then come. As you wish. Very well, he's an interesting opponent. Sun Chitian soared into the sky without fear. The surrounding people were stunned. The sky in front of them had been shattered by Lin Xian and the Dragon Prince. A great battle was about to take place in the sky behind them. It was also a battle between Thearchs. The two battles were going on at the same time. It was the first time these people had seen such a battle. Even the elders were watching such a battle for the first time. The savage wilderness patriarch laughed loudly. A battle between Thearchs. Very well, inform the Taoist sect to activate the Supreme Array to protect the spectators. Let these four little guys fight until the sky and earth turn upside down. The order was passed down, and the Taoist sect activated the Supreme Array to protect the safety of the surrounding spectators. At the same time, they provided a battlefield for the four of them to fight without any scruples. The monkey and Kun Pengzi also fought. The monkey's iron staff swept in all directions. At the same time, golden flames floated out of his eyes, causing everyone's souls to be terrified. Martial Path Heavenly Eye. Many people exclaimed. This was a legendary supreme technique. They didn't expect the monkey to be able to use it. However, Kun Pengzi was still not afraid. A black and white aura flowed around his body. That was the origin aura of heaven and earth. Yin and Yang Qi. At this moment, he seemed to have transformed into a god as he fought. Chapter 50-80. The surrounding spectators looked up at the sky. The two battlefields were equally terrifying. They couldn't see anything at all. In the blink of an eye, 5 days passed. Countless people were shocked. In the past 5 days, they had witnessed countless ultimate techniques and divine abilities. But now, they realized that the four of them were evenly matched. Although sometimes, one of them would be at a disadvantage. Soon, a new ultimate technique would appear and turn the situation around. It would be very difficult for anyone to completely suppress the other. In the beginning, Lin Xian's two legendary sacred weapons caused the Dragon Prince to be at a disadvantage. At one point, he was even in danger. But soon, the Dragon Prince erupted with an extremely powerful might. He used several ultimate techniques and divine abilities one after another. On the third day, he even used the Heavenly Dragon Arm again to turn the situation around. On the fifth day, no one could do anything to the other. The expressions of the people from the Dragon Palace turned ugly. This was the Imperial Prince. How could that Lin Xian contend against him? The faces of the people from the 10,000 Dragons dynasty turned cold. Damn it, they guessed that Lin Xian didn't just obtain the Thearch's divine ability. Judging from the methods that he had displayed so far, it was very likely that he had obtained the complete Thearch's ancient scripture. Only the disciple of the Thearch could contend against the disciple. Damn it, this kid's luck was actually so good. The others also guessed it and were envious. How many Thearchs had there been since ancient times? Each inheritance was mysterious. The main reason was that most of them were in the hands of the Thearch race. No one dared to snatch them. No one could obtain them. Only a few Thearchs didn't pass them down. Their families were lost in the various worlds. But it was as difficult as ascending to the heavens to find them. How many tens of thousands of years would there be a person with heaven-defying luck who obtained the inheritance of a Thearch? Now, was Lin Xian that person? The Dragon Prince naturally thought of this. He gritted his teeth. I didn't expect you to be so lucky. But so what? I'll let you see the Imperial Prince's true foundation now. He roared angrily. Endless dragon energy appeared in his bloodline. A dragon diagram interweaved in the sky, faintly discernible. A terrifying extreme Tao aura swept out in all directions. At this moment, the array formations of the Tao shook violently as if they couldn't withstand it at all. Not good, it was an extreme weapon, the 10,000 Dragons picture. Countless people were terrified, and they all retreated. Fantasy World Ancestor frowned. Even Savage Desolation Ancestor's expression sank. This guy even took out an extreme grade weapon? It was likely that even their Tao sect would find it hard to defend against this attack. No, he had to stop the battle. Fantasy World Ancestor also had a serious expression. He was the old ancestor of the Tao sect. With this attack, the Tao sect would definitely be severely injured. However, the elder of the Myriad Dragon dynasty beside him said, "Fellow Taoist, don't worry. The nest of Myriad Dragons will compensate you double for your losses." This was an excellent opportunity for the Dragon Prince to use the 10,000 Dragons picture to kill Lin Xian. How could they allow others to stop them? No matter who it was, they would not be able to stop this battle. Countless people were terrified. Even Sun Qitian and Kun Pengzi stopped fighting. Their eyes were filled with fear. They each took a side and raised their heads to look into the distance. Kun Pengzi frowned. Had the Dragon Prince reached this level? Could it be that Lin Xian was so terrifying that the Dragon Prince had no choice but to use his Tao weapon? Sun Qitian frowned even more. He was not strong enough, but he had to rely on his Great Emperor weapon. What a piece of trash. Dragon, if you dare to hurt my brother Lin, I will not let you go. The Savage Wilderness Ancestor also had a serious expression. He planned to save Lin Xian at the critical moment. He would not allow such a person to be killed by an extreme grade weapon. The Dragon Prince did not care about these people's threats. With his current strength, he could only use a portion of the 10,000 Dragons picture's power. But it was enough. No one could resist the might of an extreme grade weapon. He raised one hand and the 10,000 Dragons picture spun slowly in his palm. Then, he waved it forward. "Kid, it's over." The Dragon Prince's body shook with this attack. He felt that most of the energy in his body had been used up. Even if he were to use an extreme weapon, it would be difficult for him to use it. However, its power was much stronger than before. Countless extreme-grade weapons shattered the starry sky and swept through everything. Lin Xian's demonic aura dimmed. The Hellfire Dragon Sword saw this and roared in horror. "Damn, what is this kid waiting for? Hurry up and run." No matter how arrogant he was, he did not dare to resist a true extreme-grade weapon. Lin Xian took a deep breath and put away the Great Destruction Spear and the Hellfire Dragon Sword. He stood there without any intention of running away. Was that kid scared out of his wits? Countless people exclaimed. The people of the Dragon Palace sneered. That was for sure. He probably had never seen the might of an extreme-grade weapon. The elder of the 10,000 Dragons dynasty snorted. Everything was over. After killing the opponent, they would get the Great Emperor's inheritance. I wonder which Great Emperor this fellow obtained. Thinking of this, they became excited. If they got it, the 10,000 Dragons dynasty would have 2 Great Emperor's inheritances. They would probably surpass the Kunping race and the Qilin race. At that time, they would be the true rulers of all the worlds. The 10,000 Dragons picture's dragon aura turned into tens of thousands of dragon shadows. They roared at the sky and came in front of Lin Xian. They enveloped Lin Xian. At the last moment, Lin Xian sighed. With a wave of his hand, a black jar appeared in his hand, bobbing up and down. Countless black runes appeared on it, and vortexes surged out one after another, enveloping his body. Boom! Boom! 10,000 dragons descended, completely enveloping Lin Xian. Was everything over? Countless people were shocked. The expressions of Sun Qitian, savage ancestor, and the others changed drastically. They wanted to attack, but they were stopped by the experts of the 10,000 Dragons dynasty. Get lost! Sun Qitian roared. He was about to attack recklessly. But suddenly, there was a change in front. As the countless dragon silhouettes swept across the sky, a vortex rapidly appeared. At first, it was very small, but in the end, it swept across the world as if it was going to devour everything. Everyone thought that it was a universe black hole created by the 10,000 Dragons picture, but later they realized that it was not. Because this black vortex was quickly devouring those dragon shadows. In an instant, half of the dragon shadows were swallowed. What was going on? What was this? Could it be that Lin Wuyi wasn't dead? Countless people were shocked. They all looked around. The people of the 10,000 Dragons dynasty also narrowed their eyes. Kun Pingzi's eyes burst out with black and white light. On the other side, Yi Wudao, the dark red dragon, and the others sneered. Trying to kill him with the 10,000 Dragons picture. What a joke. Perhaps it would take 10 peak great sages working together with the myriad dragons portrait. Now, it was impossible for the Dragon Prince alone. This was because Lin Xian also possessed an extreme-grade weapon. The black vortex blocked the attack of the 10,000 Dragons picture, and Lin Xian walked out of the black vortex. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.